Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Troubleshoot Tuesday. I'm your host and desk jockey, UnchainedAwesome. And we're gonna sit here and try to figure out what the heck is going on. We're gonna just do basically the exact same thing we were doing earlier today, but I'm gonna be eating fries. So if you hear me munching, quenching, you have been warned. I actually have some fantastic food with me. My sister brought back some peri-peri from England, as well as some peri-peri ketchup, Nando's peri-peri ketchup, which is phenomenal when you match it with the peri-peri spice on top of it. It's very, very spicy. So we're just gonna chill a little bit. My connection isn't as stable as it was on the Ethernet, but maybe potentially the Ethernet cord is the thing doing the problem. Maybe. I really don't think it is. But I will just be... Basically, this is going to turn into like a 24-hour stream. I'm going to stream for as long as I can. Until it drops again, like it has done many a times before. We're having another tech come out on Thursday. So... let's see. This is... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna change the title from Welcome to Troubleshoot Tuesday, parentheses, if my stream, or if my internet goes down, the stream ends. Every donation, every penny that I make from the stream will go towards paying for an internet bill. At least the person's not coming tomorrow, because I have something that I'm doing tomorrow. We're gonna just see. Just fuck it. Because if it is my Ethernet cable, I don't know why it would be, but if it is, then we've at least solved the problem and maybe we don't need the tech to come out, but I do remember us trying it when we were doing the stream with Shin Megami Tensei, where I took off the Ethernet. I tried it with a what is it called? I tried it with a VPN on. That kind of worked, but it was a really bad quality stream. I was playing games with a VPN on, and my internet still went out, which doesn't rule out that they aren't throttling my network, because they still could be, but I feel like it's a little less likely, maybe. So I'm gonna just wander around Paldea's terrarium, maybe go to Kitakami a bit. Just chill out, and if you guys want to hang out with me, we can hang out, brother. Because I got literally nothing else going on, other than probably needing to record and edit videos because I'm 3 days behind, but I got nothing going on. So come enjoy dinner with me. Man, oh man. Part of me both hopes that it is and is not the Ethernet cable. Because the Ethernet cable would be taking down, like, the entire thing. So, like, maybe it's a bandwidth issue, but, like, my main thing is, if it is the Ethernet, the thing that kind of sucks about it is we had a tech come out and change out a router, or maybe that wasn't the problem. But I'm like almost certain to a point. Like I want the solution to be solved, right? Like I don't want to have to keep doing this. Because the only other real major solution they have for us is to just completely take everything out of our house, like all of our TV boxes, all of our modems, like everything that they have, and completely switch it. Because their new router system runs on, like, Bluetooth, so you have to get everything else, like, set up on Bluetooth as well. And it's a little bit of a hassle. If it just happens to fix itself overnight, that would be nice too, because it just happened to happen over, you know, it just happened to happen. I feel like if we can go 2 or 3 hours streaming and it not go down, if it doesn't go down once, then I'm going to lean towards maybe either, well, they did, to be fair, they did just, like, do a bunch of resets on our computer as well, so that could have all just happened. Like, they just did a bunch of resets on our network. We unplugged the thing again, so, like, maybe that was the, you know, you just needed that last little bit, you know? You never really know what is gonna solve the issue until you try literally everything. That's the sort of the point of troubleshooting. But I was feeling confident going into this stream that I'm like, okay, because I was getting kicked off of my friend's Minecraft server, and so I'm thinking, like, maybe the Minecraft server is causing some problems, so let's try streaming. And we streamed for about, like, 30-ish minutes, maybe a little less than that, and it kicked us off, so I'm like, okay, obviously, it's not just the Minecraft server, but I also played on the Minecraft server for, like, maybe an hour. Like, I felt like it was quite a while. So I don't want to go, like, an hour on streaming this and it be like, oh, it's good, and then I close it. So I'm going to go for, like, 2 hours at least, if like, God willing, right? But if it doesn't work out, or if it does work out, if I do get past the 2 hours to 3 hours, I'll go back on the Minecraft server and do some stuff on there just to see if that's the issue or that is an issue, and, like, to make sure it's not a fluke. Just try out everything, like, literally just retrace my steps to see what, if anything, is an outlier, because I got kicked off the Minecraft server twice today, and I got kicked from the stream, so it happened 3 times today. And it disconnects both my computers and my phone, and my dad's getting error messages on the TV. So you know what? I want to check something. Ugh. Okay. I want to make sure. Because Flair and I were talking. Ugh. There's my IT guy now. I probably need to give him a payroll at this point. I'm on a payroll, but my dad noticed that the Ethernet cable in the box was flashing orange, and I thought, oh, maybe that's something wrong with it, and I was trying to look it up, and there's, like, mixed things of, like, if it's orange, that means it's running slow, orange is fine. Like, there's a couple mixed things, so I'm like, maybe that's the issue, is that maybe the wire isn't bugged or busted, but maybe the wire is, like, something's happening, and it's fucking up the wire, or maybe there is something wrong with the wire, so we'll unplug it and see. And then I was like, I should double check if the lights changed with it unplugged, because it's still plugged into the router. And it hasn't, it doesn't have a light, so that means it's, I was thinking maybe orange meant, like, disconnected or failed to connect to services or whatever, but Flair is telling me that, from his understanding, it means that it's transferring data, which would make sense, because I think I maybe was watching something when we saw that, or maybe I had Discord up or something, not quite sure. Or maybe we were getting too much information, it was overloading our network, who knows. Like, maybe I've just been getting DDoSed for the past 4 days. By the way, did you get one of the big meals for sparkling powder? I didn't. I was just gonna run around. But since we're gonna do this for a while, might as well grab one. It lasts like 30 minutes, right? I usually like grabbing them if there's a Pokemon that I like in a outbreak. And then I farm them. I got, something cool. I posted on Twitter. You guys should help me name this Hoot Hoot. What do you guys think I should name this shiny Hoot Hoot? Because I was hunting Riolu, because there's the special Riolu outbreaks. I was hunting Riolu, and, this guy popped up first. And then I got my first shiny one called Midoriya. And then I got another one because I was like, well, if I'm going to get Riolu, I want to get Lucario as well, so I'll get Goku. I also got a shiny Venonat when helping my friend finish the dex, which is really cool because Venomoth and Venonat is like one of my favorite Gen 1 Pokemons. And then it was funny because I was like, oh, I should send a picture to my friend who wants to do shiny hunting with me. That I got 2 shiny Riolus and a shiny Hoot Hoot. And then I was like, I'm an overthinker. And he's not going to ask this of me, because, like, I feel like that would be a little bit rude. But I'm worried that he's going to ask me, since I have 2, could you give me one? You know? And so I was worried, and I'm like, I feel like I don't want to confront him. I feel like I don't want to say no, but I also don't want to give him one. So I was like, you know what? I'll just get a 3rd one. And then I'll just give it to him anyways. So that's what I did. The 3rd one was actually the easiest one to get. Or, not just the easiest one, but the quickest one to get. It was easy too, I guess, because I already had I do the camp method where I, like, you KO like 50 or 60 Pokemon in the outbreak, and then you just set up camp, remove camp, set up camp, remove camp, and like keep having them spawn. I've been having really bad spawns though for outbreaks. Like they either don't spawn or they spawn really slow or far away. And I'm like, there's just like no good areas for outbreaks. Like the one that I had for Riolu was probably the best one that I had recently. Like I tried doing an Eevee one, and I think Eevee has been historically difficult because Eevee's always by towns, and the towns, I think, stop them from spawning and stuff. But like, oh, it was rough. You got a Comfey and Riolu in like 3 minutes into the outbreak. I kind of want a Comfey, but I also kind of don't want to like squint at my screen for 30 years. But maybe we'll just walk over there and play around. If you guys see a shiny and I miss it, let me know. / also clip it, because it'll be funny if I fail a shiny. Six. I'm gonna get to 10 real quick. 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. I will say, I don't know if you guys feel this way when shiny hunting, but when I shiny hunt, say like that Confe over there is like, I'm like squinting at it, you know, like maybe we zoom in, you know, and you're like, I'm not quite sure. I'm like, that looks, because like the only thing that changes is like, it's like blue, right? So I'll look at it and be like, is that blue? And I go, no, I think it's green. And then, move on, right? And, but like whenever you get the shiny, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but whenever I get the shiny, I see the shiny, I go, that's shiny. Like, I instantly get it. Like, so it's always funny because I'm like, I want to double check just to make sure that it's not shiny. And I don't accidentally despawn it. But like, whenever I get the shiny, it's like an instant, like, I know that's shiny. Like, you know? So it just makes me laugh. Honestly, one of these days, Potato, you and I gotta go shiny hunt in Paldea, the creator of Paldea. I wanna shiny Iron Treads. Or not Iron Treads, Iron Thorns. With Confe, though, it's kind of hard to really see. And these ones are spawning everywhere. Yeah, that should be roughly 30. I kind of lost count partway through. It's to 50, right? Like, you're supposed to take out 50? Because it says it's looking real low, and this would be roughly my 50th one. I like to kill 55, usually. Just, like, because I know I miscount. So that would be like 55. They like, so like, look what I'm talking about. Like, they spawn all the way over here. They spawn all the way over here. They spawn all the way over there. Also, if you guys don't know how I'm doing that, if you double tap the home button on your Nintendo Switch controller, it will just zoom in on the screen. It's very helpful when you're trying to look at stuff. Just know that your camera is locked into place. So, like, you know how I'm moving right now? I know it's not, but you always gotta check the Charmander just in case. But, so, like, you know how you're moving the camera here? If you, like, double tap this, it gets locked. You can't go. It's only wherever you're looking at right now. Just remember that. So you'll have to... And double tap to exit as well. Very, very helpful. If you're going for, like, a mouse hold hunt. Crunchy chicken. You can also adjust how zoomed in it is. I just like having it fully zoomed. I will say that a really cool thing today. So there's these candies I had when I was a kid. They're called blue whales. And they're kind of like a hard gummy candy. Like they're not like they're gummy candies, but they're not like hard, but they're not like Sour Patch Kids, if you can imagine like that. Like Sour Patch Kids, when you bite into them, it's like soft and stuff, but this one's like firm. I have no idea how to describe the flavor. It's just good. And I've been looking for them forever, because they're so good. And like no places sell them. They used to come in those like plastic tins that you'd get at school. I don't know if that's a universal thing, but there's like the plastic tins that would have like gummy worms and stuff in it, and the gummy sharks would also have. We would also get blue whales and stuff in that, and like I've just never had them since I was like a kid. Like haven't seen them anywhere. So I'm always on a search for them. My mom finds them, but they're not exactly the same. They come in this weird bag. They have a little bit different flavor. They're like slimy for some reason. Like they're sticky and slimy in the bag. Like I don't know if it's just the packaging or whatever, but they feel wet. And so they're not my favorite, but they're like, okay, you know, it gives me a little bit of kid nostalgia. It's fine. You know, like I don't need everything to be perfect, you know. Some things can just be all right. But today I'm walking downstairs and I see a bag on the kitchen on the kitchen table with what looks to be blue fucking whales. And I'm looking over there, I'm like, are those blue whales? And I'm like, are they the same? I'm like, well, like, let's chill, because they may be the same blue whales that, you know, the other places have, right? Where it's not exactly the same, right? So I pull one in my mouth, you know, as you do with candy. Chow down, and lo and behold, the bad boy it doesn't feel sticky. It tastes the exact same. It is the classic blue whale candy that I knew when I was a kid. Ugh, it's so good. It's like one of the best candies, in my opinion. I think it's ooh, that's shiny. I think a lot of it is nostalgia for sure. But for me, it's, I don't know. There's nothing that beats it for me. Also, like I just said, like I literally was just talking about this 2 seconds ago. You know, we spend like hours squinting at it. You know, like, is that shiny? you know, like, is that shiny? I don't think that's shiny. That looks kind of shiny. Let me double check. No, it's not shiny. I see the blue one. Shiny. Like, instantly. It's because you know it's shiny. Like, I don't know. I'm very happy, actually. Let's make sure he doesn't take himself out in confusion now. I'm actually really happy. I like this one. I feel like a Great Ball could be good with it. We don't really have any fun balls. Ooh, a Dive Ball might be good for... because it's blue. You know what? Alola, you know, Oceans, Dive Ball blue, blue shiny, Critical Capture. It's simply that easy. It's just simply that easy. Unfortunately for you... it's just that easy. Let's go. I don't know how... oh, wait, no. I do know what it's... I want to name it. I was just about to say I don't know what I want to name it, but I do know what I want to name it. What is it called? I want to name it Ulafala. I don't know much about it, so I don't want to claim that I know, like, a lot. Let's check if it has a mark as well. It is a mark! Oh! What? That's sick! Oh, that's sick! Okay, W. So it's Ula... Fala. I believe is how you spell it. It is like a necklace type thing worn by high chiefs of clans, making them look distinguished from the rest of the crowd in, like, I think Samoan culture. It's the reason I know what that is it's it is, oh yeah, the type of necklace is called an ulafala. It is most often worn by Samoan Tula Fale, orator chiefs, in the context of I can't read, oratory performances. Ulafalas are important markers of social status. In some social and ceremonial situations, they can help identify a special guest or simply act as an attractive adornment. So I think that, you know, it's not exactly the same, and I don't like it's not the same as a Hawaiian, like, flower necklace, I should say. So it's like, but I just thought shiny, you know, it's significant. It's like a necklace. Ulafala is a pretty name. I'd go with that. You know, if anyone has problems with it, I'm 100% down to change it. But it's what Roman Reigns wears as the head of the table. That's another one, I think. I'm almost certain, yeah. I think that's another one right there. Back to back, baby. What the hell? We missed the T-Wave again. Let's look around. Let's look around a little bit more, huh? Make sure there's not one standing next to me. Back to back shinies is crazy. It's not that crazy because we have the level 1 shiny sparkle chance on top of the increased shiny rate for the outbreak. That one, I was a little less... I was talking about how I'm like, oh yeah, I'm always... like, when I see the shiny, it's like, I know it. Like, I knew it, seeing it, but at the same time, I was like, there's no way I got 2 in a row. You know? Now, if this one has a mark, then it's over. We won. I was crazy. If you guys got nicknames for this one, if you were like, damn, I had a really good nickname for that one, but Ulafalo is the first thing you thought of. Imagine if this one's Mark II. Oh, imagine, though? Imagine. I love Ulafalo the Sleepy. Dude, I love marks. Alright, for a second I was like, there's no way there's a third one right there. When it showed up in the target. I feel like, I mean, I don't think you're wrong. 100%, like, I don't think you're wrong. I don't know much about the targeting stuff, but I feel like I've had a target, and maybe it's like maybe it's a size one, so I have to go check it. But I feel like I've had a target where I've like aimed at it and it popped up, but it didn't have a mark. But maybe it was like a size mark where you have to go to the size person to check it. But I think the one that we did get the mark on did pop up on the side there, so I think you are right on that, actually. Actually, I think you're quite correct. I was thinking of something and then I completely forgot. Oh, I don't remember. Oh, this is what I want to talk about. So I was talking about marks. We're gonna go... Something I think is really cool. Actually, I want to test something. So, should be in, like, to go. So I traded a bunch of Pokemon with my friend, Giblart. Okay, didn't think so. But one of my favorite things from this game, and I actually want to like go back and do these, is we'll have to check all the boxes. And then it must be the last one, theoretically. Right. So this is something that I love, that I think is really, really cool. And I want to do it. Do more of it, right? So this is so at the post game you can invite people into your like clubhouse, and I did a little bit of it on video on my channel. And if you get, like, to a high enough friendship with the people you can invite, like the gym leaders and the Elite Four people and stuff like that, they'll trade you a Pokemon. For, like, any Pokemon that you have, they'll just trade you a Pokemon. And they'll have a special mark on it called the partner mark. And it will show, like, so when it's partnered with this, I throw it out, and the title will be Tulip's Flittle. And then I think you can rename it. Still, I don't know. Yeah, you can change its nickname. So you have like a special Flittle that is specifically from that person, right? And you have that mark, and that's always going to be on that Pokemon. And I think that that's such a cool concept. So I want to do that more. I think I want to record it for YouTube again if people are interested in me doing all that side stuff. But my big reasoning for that is, like, we always do, like, the way we play Pokemon games usually is, like, for the main games, I like to do, like, catch a new team, pick Pokemon that we like, usually all new Pokemon, if it's like a Legends Arceus, right? I didn't do all new Pokemon. We had only, like, half new Pokemon, half old Pokemon. And then for, like, DLCs or post-games or stuff like that, I like to make, like, a new team with the Mons added with the DLC, whether that is a new Mon, like something like Gouging Flame, or just, like, using a Dodrio, right? And so I want to save these special ones, hoping that in future games, the marks will still work the way they do. And I want to, like... I don't know if this is, like, too nerdy at this point, but I want to do it, like, so that we have, like, lore connections to characters. So say, like, one of my characters just happens to have Tulip's Flittle, right? Like, just, how did he get Tulip's Flittle, like, in a future Pokemon game? It's like, so that person, theoretically, either somehow found Tulip's Flittle, or maybe related to Tulip, maybe, you know, passed from, you know, like, obviously it could be passed down from me to, like, this character to the next character, etc. and so forth, but, like, adds a little bit more depth of being like, hey, that's a unique thing, like, or, like, I want to bring back old Pokemon that we had, like, if I brought a Cyndaquil named Rishiri or something like that, and, like, or bring back Rishiri from Legends Arceus, and have, like, special stuff like that, like, I want to have, like, fun callbacks when we do DLC, or, like, maybe some side games, just to build the lore. I don't know if that's, like I said, if that's too nerdy, if anybody would even care, but I feel like it's just so fun, especially if, like, you know about it, like, because it's not a big thing, unless I do this and point it out that it's such a big thing, but, if you, like, so everybody who's watching this, if you guys, like, watch a future Pokemon video, and I throw out Tulip's Flittle, right, you're gonna be like, dude, I remember him talking about this, is so cool, he finally brought it back. And then some people may look at it and go, huh, Tulip's Flittle, that's interesting, like, I don't know what that, like, that's all about, but that's kind of cool, like, they don't really care, or they don't know, you know, don't care. Let's see here, we're gonna get a shiny Scizor. This was where we got the shiny Scizor, I believe, during our playthrough. Was directly here, actually, which is kind of nuts. I'm actually going over to, like, this water area because it would make me so happy. We probably don't have much time left. We have 7 minutes. It would make me so happy to get a shiny Squirtle. The problem with, like, and also I like catching shinies because, like, I do like potentially using them in future games, post games, like, same reason for, like, using Flittle and stuff. It was why I used Kiryu Iron Thorns in our first Kitakami DLC. It was because I didn't get to use them in this one. Oh, I've never seen that animation before. Whoa, he's taking a snack. Can I think it's down. Oh, that's so cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid for thinking that that's cool, but that's kind of cool. How's it going, Sulfur Sandbox? Welcome on in. We're doing the Troubleshoot Tuesday stream. The stream will end if my internet dies. So we're just going because my internet's been having issues, and now I'm just testing if it is the Ethernet cable or something like that. It could either be the Ethernet cable. Like, if it starts working, it means it could either be the Ethernet cable, or it could be the, them resetting the box. So, honestly, if it does work, though, I probably won't plug that Ethernet cable back in anymore. Like, if it doesn't fall for the rest of the day, and I do stuff all day, I probably won't plug the Ethernet cable back in fear that it, like, fucks something up. Because, like, what if it's, like, the Ethernet cable fucks something up in the box, and then resetting the box fixed it, and me plugging the Ethernet back into it fucks it up, so even when I pull it out, it's fucked up, like, you know. It's rough out here for your boy. So we're just enjoying some dinner, kind of casually shiny hunting in Pokemon Scarlet. I'm just trying to have an all-around vibe, you know, talk about random shit, enjoy our life, hopefully. Oh, yo, the Squirtle Squad rolling up. The Squirrel Squad. Oh, look at that dude. Ooh. We're just chilling. Hopefully we can get back to streaming on a normal schedule. I'm contemplating potentially not doing MPW next week. Just because we didn't really do anything this week. We didn't get, we tried to do 3 days of Shin Megami Tensei, and I kind of did one. So, like, because of all the tech issues we've been having, so maybe do just, like, reset, do 2 weeks of, 2 days of SMT3, and then Gotham Knights. Dude, I'm definitely getting gamer thumb. Because I've been on my phone so much with the computer outages. I've just been like doing games on my phone, and also playing. This is probably more of the contributor, but I've been playing on my DS. I've been playing Heart Gold, and I was hatching the eggs. I'm playing on a legitimate copy of Heart Gold that's randomized on my DS. And I'm trying to do like a Blueberry Academy playthrough kind of thing, where every trainer battle is a double battle. It's been a lot of fun so far. But I was hatching the 3 Primo eggs that you get in the first like gym city. And it was taking forever. Dude, I got 2 eggs. My Togepi egg took forever as well. I can't remember what it was that took forever the first time. I can't remember, but it was something stupid. I'm actually trying to think. Can't remember, though. But then the second one, the Togepi egg, took forever, and I'm like, this is going to be like a Mew or something. Like, this has got to be a legendary. It was a fucking Spinnerack. Like, it took me like an hour to, like, I felt like an hour to hatch. Like, I took it everywhere with me. I started running in circles because it was taking so long. It was like, oh my god, it was taking forever. It was a Spinnerack. Dude, it hurt. My thumb hurts now. It was how much I was walking around in that game. I gotta grab the Pokewalker. I still have my Pokewalker, which I'm very fortunate for, because I know a lot of people lost theirs just like because, you know, you're kids, you don't think about it. You bring it to school and maybe lose it. Very fortunate to still have my Pokewalker. I brought my Pokewalker to school. I put my starter in my Pokewalker and brought it to school. I also think I brought Entei to school as well. I always have, like, a very fond, like, Cyndaquil, I think, is probably my favorite starter of all time. Like, Cyndaquil was the first ever starter that I got to level 100. Like, I played through Heart Gold, or I played through Soul Silver, with Cyndaquil the first time. And then when the new Pokemon games came out, I did what I always do, and I trade all the important Pokemon, to the next game. And and then I reset Soul Silver one day at the cabin and just decided to play with just Cyndaquil. And Cyndaquil, well, like, and evolving into Typhlosion, etc. Like, you know, but like just doing my starter. And when you hit Bell Tower, oh, it's over. Like, the game's on easy mode once you complete Bell Tower, because you are so high level. You're fighting all those Bellsprouts in there. You're Cyndaquil. You're just decimating everything. I have a shiny Cyndaquil on my Soul Silver cartridge now, because I soft resetted for it. What I was gonna do, this was actually before they announced that they were, like, closing Pokemon Bank and shit. And like doing Pokemon Home and I can't remember what it was. It wasn't closing Pokemon Bank, but they were saying that they're switching to Pokemon Home, and you weren't gonna have every Pokemon in, like, the later gens. I kind of stopped caring about transferring my Pokemon over, but I have a shiny Swampert in my Emerald cartridge, and I have a shiny Cyndaquil in my Soul Silver cartridge. And what I was gonna do was I was gonna play through a bunch of games. So I was gonna play, like, Emerald, right, with my shiny Swampert in my team, get it to the championship, and then get that ribbon, trade it off to another game, kind of thing, right? And trade it off to, like, say, Soul Silver, right? Soul Silver, shiny hunt for the starter, get the starter, get the Swampert, bada bing, bada boom, win with both of them in the Elite Four, so that shiny Swampert gets the other, like, you know, won the Johto League and the Hoenn League ribbon. I was gonna just do that with, like, all of my games, like, go through each game, shiny hunt a starter at the beginning, and then play through it with only shiny Pokemon, and try to get all the ribbons on all the shiny Pokemon that I could. And I just never went through with it after they kind of said, like, oh yeah, we're not gonna be supporting, like, bringing Pokemon from older games all the time. I was kind of like, you know, it's not worth it. And I didn't know how long it was going to take, so I was like, if it takes too long, I don't want to, like, force myself to play it, but if it takes too long, then I'm like, I'm going to be sad if I can't transfer them over. You never had a Pokewalker? Only pre-Switch Pokemon game I got was White 1. That was, you know, I like Pokemon Black and White. I think Pokemon Black and White are have legitimately one of the best stories in Pokemon. I really hope that if they do, like, a Legends game of it, I really hope that we get a prequel to Black and White where we get to see the original dragons and the two brothers fighting it out. That's what I'm really hoping for. Like, we get to see what Ciruam looked like fused with both Reshiram and Reshiram and Zekrom, I think. But I don't know if they will do that. But that's what I want. The only thing that I don't like about Pokemon Black and White, it was a bold choice. But I don't like how the Pokemon worked, where you could only catch, like, new Pokemon, which, like, that's usually what I do anyways, is I only play with new Pokemon. But, like, it just felt like it wasn't Pokemon, because it was like, there's, you know, you maybe run into a trainer with a Pokemon you couldn't catch or something. You could always transfer them over, of course, but it was just like, I was like, I can't even get Pikachu in this game? Like, it's like, you know, like, it didn't feel good for me, but I still enjoy the games. Like, I think they have some of the best stories. They're just definitely not my favorite gen. Black and White was the era where I quit Pokemon. And I say quit Pokemon, but basically, like, Black and White came out, I played it, and I was like, you know what, these games were good, but, like, I don't need to do this anymore. Like, I think I've grown out of Pokemon was kind of my thing. So I skipped Black and White to so realistically, I probably skipped, like, I don't know, the in between Black and White to X and Y. Like, it probably couldn't be that much, but I feel like that was definitely a dropping point for a lot of people, is Black and White, is what I hear. And then when X and Y got announced, like 3D Pokemon on the 3DS, I was like, holy shit, this looks incredible. Like, this looks insane. And they're, like, talking about the new fairy typing, and I was like, I think I want to get back into Pokemon. Like, I had literally, like, stopped thinking about Pokemon entirely for, like, the entire duration of it in between. It wasn't even, like, a thing where I was like, oh, I remember Pokemon? I was like, I just didn't, it was not in my head until those trailers started coming out. And I started getting into the leak culture where people are like, oh, this is what it's gonna be, this is the game, this is all, like, look at this cool oddish, you know, and it's like, I got super into it, and that was the game that brought me back into Pokemon, and I've been back into the Pokemon ever since. You know, so it's it's getting me choked up. No, it's sorry, the peri-peri's getting in my throat. I had a shiny Tentacool on my copy of Sapphire. I also collected shinies on Diamond. Lost all of my Game Boy DS games. Just Switch games now? Dang, I'm so sorry. I lost my Platinum cartridge. I think I might still have, like, a Platinum cartridge, but I lost my Platinum cartridge when I was a kid that had a definitely hacked-in shiny Rayquaza that I stole from a guy, and a definitely hacked-in shiny Umbreon. At least I assume they were hacked in, because I never got reprimanded for stealing them. And I feel like that's something you would notice if they were gone. But you know what? Joke's on me. I lost the cartridge. Dude, I want to get a shiny Rayquaza at some point in my life again, because that Rayquaza was the man. I loved that Rayquaza. It was back in Diamond, or I was playing Pearl, and my cousin had a friend who also had the game, and he lent it to him so he could play it, but it was his save file still. So he was just, like, walking around doing random stuff, right, and playing on it. He wasn't, like, doing anything drastic. And me being a dumb little kid, like, I was, like, very young. Actually, I don't know how young I would have been during Diamond and Pearl, but I was pretty young. I was, like, obsessed with Pokemon at that point. I was like to my cousin, like, can I trade Pokemon in between me and his game? And he was like, yeah, I guess, but just don't trade anything good. And like, I don't know what is good and what is bad, right? He's like, just make the trades fair or whatever. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, all right, shiny Umbreon, huh? And I didn't know what like a shiny was back then either. I just thought like, oh, this Umbreon looks cool. Okay, a fair trade for the Umbreon. Bidoof is pretty cool. I just caught a Bidoof recently. That's probably rare. Oh, Rayquaza. Oh, it's like a black dragon. Oh, I want this one. Yeah, Starly's a good trade. I'll trade Starly, okay. You know, and I'm just like trading all these Pokemon. And then, it gets down to the wire, right? I'm starting to run out of Pokemon, and I think, you know what? Like, I traded basically, I had like probably like 7 Pokemon at the time. Like, I just started playing the game. Or I just didn't get very far, you know, because I'm a stupid kid. But I was like, I had like 7 Pokemon maybe, and I traded all but one of them, which was my starter. My first ever Pokemon starter in any Pokemon game. And I'm like, you know what? I got all the Pokemon I think I want from this game. I think I'm good. I'm gonna... What is that? And then I saw it. Gyarados. Gyarados. Just a regular Gyarados, not a shiny Gyarados, just regular Gyarados. I saw it. And I looked at Gyarados, and I knew in my little child heart that that Pokemon has to be the strongest, rarest Pokemon ever. I was having a dilemma, right? Because I had all these really cool Pokemon that I traded for with, like, I traded, like, a Shinx, you know? I traded, like, a Bidoof. Like, I was trading up Pokemon all the, like, I was running out of money for this Gyarados, but I knew I needed this Gyarados. But the only Pokemon I had left that I was willing, that I hadn't already traded, was my Piplup. I had not traded my Piplup yet. But I knew that this Gyarados, this was my only chance to get a Gyarados. When is the next time little kid me is going to see a Gyarados? Never. It's literally the rarest Pokemon. So, with a heavy heart, I traded my first ever starter for a Gyarados. And I never looked back as a kid. Like, that Gyarados was my starter from then on. Like, he was my best friend. I loved that Gyarados. It was the coolest shit for me. Like, I don't know. When I was a kid, Gyarados was the man. And he still is. He's still pretty badass. But he was the man back in the day. I love that Gyarados. I love that Rayquaza. I love that Umbreon. And it was just like, whew, it was on like Donkey Kong when I got it. So I'd usually always keep my starters. Usually, I think the only time I've ever fully boxed a starter was, or fully removed a starter or boxed a starter was Black and White. I boxed Samurott because I hate Samurott so much. I hate it so much. Oshawott, Duat, God tier. Samurott, I hate it so much. They even tricked me because they said, oh, Oshawott's gonna get a new Hisuian final evolution. And I said, this is the point where they finally change Oshawott for me. And they finally make they make good on their promise of making Samurott a cool looking Pokemon. And then they made him kind of look cooler. Like, I'm not gonna say he doesn't look cooler, but oh, he's still not my guy. He's still not the one I want. That's the only other time I boxed a starter, but yeah, I never got reprimanded for... Oh, I think I took a... No, I didn't take a Salamence, because I did get reprimanded for taking a Salamence. Yeah, I never got reprimanded for taking those Pokemon, so either, like, my cousin just got the heat for it, because it was him responsible for the game, or the kid hacked it in, which I think he probably hacked them in. Because that was back in the day with all the Game Sharks and everything. Can you even catch, like, Rayquaza in Pearl? Like, I guess you could have transferred it. But, But yeah, I did get reprimanded. I'll tell a little bit about the story. It's not very interesting. I did get reprimanded for taking... I didn't steal this one. I was given a Salamence. I think I still have it, actually. But I was given a Salamence by my friend. He was like... Because I was having trouble getting to Impearl. I was having trouble getting to Palkia. Because I guess my Pokemon were just under-leveled or whatever. Or I was just taking way too long to, like, climb up the mountain. Because I was a stupid little kid. And I was, like, lamenting to my friend that, like, I don't know how you guys got up to the legendary place. Like, I can't do it. And they were like, oh, well, you just need strong Pokemon. I'm like, my Pokemon are strong. I just don't know why. And fucking... Where is it? My friend traded me, like, a level 100 Salamence or whatever, right? He's like, here, take this Pokemon. You can have it, and it will help you get there. And so it helped me get there, and I got Palkia and yada, yada, yada. But anyways, the fast forward to the story is, I was like, do you want it back? And my friend's like, no, you can have it. You can have it. It's yours. And I'm like, cool. I'll keep the Salamence. And then, like, weeks go by, right? And he's like, I'm gonna need that Salamence back. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, at this point, I bonded with the Salamence. He helped me. He was a homie. He helped me out. So I was like, I don't want to lose him. But he's like, yeah, I'm gonna need that Salamence back. This is like a week or like a month later, like a while later. And he's like, I'm gonna need the Salamence back. I'm like, why? I'm not giving you the Salamence back. And he's like, yeah, well, it wasn't my Salamence. And it was actually, like, I don't know, like fucking Richard, I guess. Like Richard's Salamence. We'll just call him Richard. And I'm like, well, I'm like, I'm not... I felt like he was maybe lying to me. Because I was like... I'm like, well, you gave it to me, so, like, that's the problem with you and Richard. And he's like, yeah, but Richard says you have to give it back. And I'm like, well, if Richard wants it, then he can come ask me for it. And he's like, no, he wants you to trade it to me. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And I was like, he's like, but Richard's gonna be mad. And I'm like, if he's mad, he can come be mad at me. Like, tell him to, if he's mad, tell him to come talk to me. Like, we can sort this out, but like I'm not giving you this thing that I've had and I've enjoyed as a small child. You know, like, we made a transaction. That's on you, brother. And then I never got anything. Like, Richard never came up to me about it, so I assume he was just lying to me. Or Richard got over it. I don't talk to any of these people anyways anymore. This was like it. This is all elementary school tea. I really like Black and White 1 and 2. Never got the hate it got. Yeah, I think I don't really, people hate it a lot. I think it's overhated for sure. But I think the reason why it gets, like, kind of flack is just because, in my opinion, like, my reason I never really liked it, or never liked it as much as some of the other games, is the dex is pretty good. Like, the dex is big. So it has a lot of really terrible Pokemon, but it has a lot of really good Pokemon. But it's just, there's so much on the like, you think of, like, Pokemon that aren't great in Black and White. You think of, like, Vanillux. You think of Kling Clang. You think of maybe Sock and Throw aren't, like, the coolest looking Pokemon. You know, you think of, like, at the time, I didn't really like Garbodor. Like, I'm like, really, garbage? Like, that's what we're doing? You know, like, so it kind of felt like there was a lot of ones, at least in my opinion, that were kind of, like, thrown together. Whether people like it or not, like, you're allowed to like Pokemon, like, that I don't like. But that was the reason why I didn't like it, was because there was a lot of bangers. Like, you get Lilligant, Bisharp, you get the Swords of Justice, you get the Weather Trio, you get, or I guess the Weather Quintuplet now. You get the, like, The starters were kind of mid for me, personally. But you get some of the coolest legendaries, like Reshiram, Ciruam. You know, you get, like... So it's like... You can't say that not X and Y, Black and White's Dex is, like, bad. But you can definitely, like... I can definitely see people's opinions of, like... It is... It, like, there's just a lot of... There's a lot more that is bad. There's a lot of bad and a lot of good. Instead of just, like, some bad, a lot of good, you know? Like, there's just a lot there, and it's a hit or miss with people. And I also think it was during a time where Pokemon was generally going down a not depression, but, like, it was going down a slant for, like, popularity. Like, I really feel like Black and White, they tried to basically reboot Pokemon with Black and White, and I think it just never caught on. And I think people were having a little bit of Pokemon fatigue at the time, and and that's why, like, I think, like, Black and White 2 are some of the worst selling Pokemon games of all time, because I think people played probably Black and White and went, you know what, it's just not for me. And like, even though it's, like, some of the best story, right? And, like, it has, like, a serious story with, like, an interesting plot. It completely throws the idea of, like, oh, you do the Elite Four? Well, the champion's not actually the champion. The champion got taken out, and you need to go fight this bad guy now. Like, it did stuff that's, like, completely different, and maybe that was also a contributor to why people didn't like it, because it was different. It was too different. Maybe people didn't like it as much because it didn't follow the formula. But I think they're generally good games, but they're not my favorite. He's not playing Pokemon after that, but I'm catching up, by the way. This isn't like a big delay. I've just been rambling. I've been playing Pokemon I stopped playing Pokemon after that, but was because I didn't own a 3DS. That's valid. I actually, like, swindled my dad into getting a 3DS, kind of. I did that twice, actually. I swindled my dad into getting 2 3DSs. So the first one was because, so the commercials were very confusing for someone who didn't know about the products. And so when X and Y came out on TV, it was like Pokemon X and Y for Nintendo 3DS and 2DS. And I was like, 2DS. So they're signifying that my DS can have it, because my DS is a 2DS, because my DS it's 2D. So it's not a 3DS, it must be a 2DS. That's what they must be telling. I didn't realize there was another console called the 2DS. I thought they were saying, hey, you could get it in 3D, or you could get it on the regular DS. You know, I was thinking that was kind of what they were insinuating with the ad there. So I went to GameStop, like, can I get Pokemon X and Y, please? And like, yeah, for sure. I'm like, can I get it for the 2DS? And they're like, no, it's only 3DS, right? It's only 3DS. And I'm like, no, but the ads say it's 2DS. And I'm like, no, it's only 3DS. It only comes out in the 3DS. I was like, but I don't have a 3DS, because, like, but it said on the thing, like, I'm sorry, dude, like, I don't know what to tell you, I can't make it, you know, I can't make this game on the spot for you. And so I was kind of, like, disappointed as a kid, like, oh, and they're like, so you would need to buy a 3DS to play it. And so I kind of, like, looked at my dad, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You know, I give my dad a hard time, but he comes clutch a lot of the times when it comes to shit like this. And he kind of looked at me as like, well, do you want it? And I'm like, well, yeah. And he's like, okay, we'll buy you a 3DS and we'll buy you the game. And so I got a 3DS and the game that day. And then I fast forward, the way I scammed my dad out of another 3DS was Super Smash Bros. Came out for the 3DS and Wii U, and I didn't have a Wii U, because fuck that shit. I only had the 3DS, and there's this magical new thing. Oh, there it goes, I think. Oh, no, it's just an unstable. It's just going unstable. I still have to explain the difference to people? Yeah. It looks like we're dropping frames, but it doesn't look like we're completely gone. So I'll keep going. Yeah, dropping frames is fine. It's not perfect. That's why I want to have an Ethernet cable, but if the Ethernet cable is the problem... But if the Ethernet cable is the problem, I can always get another Ethernet cable later. But, so... The Smash came out for the 3DS, right? And, this new magical thing came along with it, right? Which were the amiibos. These toys to life that you can play Smash Brothers with. What? That's so cool. And it's all of my favorite Nintendo characters. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. I can't wait to show all of my family's money on this, you know? And, or my birthday money, to be fair. Or my birthday money. So, I beg my dad, oh, please, 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 please. Can I go to the store? Can we get an amiibo and the new game? Because I wanted the Pikachu amiibo really badly. That was my first amiibo that I got, was the Pikachu amiibo. And he's like, okay, we can go. So we go, and we go up to the front. I have the Pikachu amiibo in hand. I have the game in hand. I hand it to the person up front, and they go, okay, so you just want these two things? We're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, just so you know, if you have an older version of the 3DS, it can't use amiibos. So you have to get the newer version of the 3DS to do it. Do you have the newer version? And I'm like, I don't think so. I'm like, well, you need to get the XL to do it. And I'm like, but I don't have an XL. And I'm like, well, you can't, because back then, I don't think they even had adapters for it yet. Like, I think those came out later, or at least the person was not trying to sell me an adapter. And so I was really disappointed again, because, well, it's the thing that I wanted. Like, I was super excited. And so I was kind of like, oh, and my dad's like, well, do you want it? And I was like, well, yeah. And he's like, fine, we'll get all three of these things. And so I got another DS. I am like a progenitor of getting DSs from people, actually, now that I'm like talking about it. Because when I was even younger than that, when the DSi came out, so when the DSi came out, I had the Nintendo DS. But my Nintendo DS was getting broken. Like, it was old. I had like one of the first DSs, and it was getting old. The front screen was getting like, the top screen was getting loose because like I kept dropping it. Not my fault entirely. I dropped it like 14 times at a family gathering because one of my cousins kept scaring me on purpose. Like, he kept hiding behind things, and I kept going like, and dropping it. And he's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, stop scaring me. And then he would like do it like 80 times, and I kept dropping it, and I was getting really mad. So not entirely my fault, but it was in rough shape. So I was like, I really want a DSi, because the DSi has a camera, you know, it's a better console. I like a DSi, and I want it for my birthday. Like, I'm asking for my birthday. And my parents were like, okay, we'll get it for your birthday. And so they're like, do you have a preference on it? There's like different colors. I think there's like a white one, a black one, and a blue one, like a light blue one. I'm like, I want the light blue one. I think the light blue one would be so cool. They're like, okay. So they get me the light blue one. I'm playing it all day on my birthday. It's like the greatest time ever, right? Enjoying it, playing Pokemon, right? Yada, yada. And my aunt comes to visit. My aunt is like, she's a teacher. So, especially at the time, she was like, these handheld devices are ruining our kids kind of thing. And she was really like against playing video games because she felt that was going to make me stupider. Turns out she was right. So she comes in to visit and is like, happy birthday. I'm like, oh, happy birthday. Or thank you. And then she was like, I have something for you. Oh, this is a shiny. Oh my god. What the hell? What the fuck was that? I feel like this thing could have takedown. I'm gonna chuck a heal ball at it. I was in the middle of a story, Potato, and I just happened to walk into I just happened to walk into a shiny deerling while I was talking. Like, I'm in the middle of my story. I'm in the middle of my story. I just happened to walk into a deerling. A level 66 deerling? Yeah, in the terrarium. So we're in the terrarium for the DLC of Scarlet and Violet, if you don't know about it. I'm not trying to, like, question your intelligence by over-explaining it. But in the DLC, they have this, like, terrarium, so it's, like, post-game. And all the Pokemon are, like, really high level. If you guys got a nickname for this, let me know. But, so... Now I gotta find it. Oh, is it here? No. Oh, yeah, it is. I was only level 28. Did it change level? Was it level 66, or did it... Or are we stupid? Next box? But this is the shiny! Unless I have two... I guess I'm... Oh, maybe... Oh, okay. Maybe I have... I just happen to have two shinies? What the fuck is that? I didn't even... Okay. I had to put these in a better box. I am not organizing my shinies very well. What the fuck? I was so confused. Oh no, it's... I think it's further down here, yeah. So anyways, I'm talking about scamming DSs out of people. But so I have my DS for my birthday that my parents got me, and my aunt comes to visit, and she's against the idea of video games. Like, she does not like video games. And she's like... So I, like, kind of put my DS behind my back. And she's like, when she comes to visit, and I'm like, oh, she's like, happy birthday. I'm like, happy birthday, or thank you. I always say happy birthday back to people thinking, like, it's Merry Christmas. But, and she's like, I want to tell you, or I got you something for your birthday that I'm not usually, like, one to get you things. She goes, I don't agree with this kind of stuff, but you like it, so I wanted to get something that I knew you would like for your birthday, and so I hope you appreciate it. Here. And she hands me the exact same DSi. The exact same DSi that my parents bought me for my birthday that I asked them to get me. And so with the DS behind my back, I slowly pass it to my mom, and my mom takes it from behind my back, and I grab the box. I'm like, oh, thank you. And she's like, yeah, I hope you like it. And she's like, I got you Brain Age and, like, this math game, this, like, Sudoku game. I'm like, oh, thanks. Don't think I ever played it. I think I maybe played Brain Age once. I was like, oh, thanks. And she left, and my parents were like, we can return that. Like, don't worry, we can return that to the store if you want. And I was like, can I just keep them? And she's like, yeah, if you want both of them, sure. Because I was like, I can trade with myself now in Pokemon. Like, if I have 2DS, I don't need my friends to trade. So that was, like, the beginning of my Pokemon, like, obsession as well. Because it's like, I had my DS, and now I have my 2 DSi's that I can trade with. So it's like, it was a game changer. But it was so funny, because I'm like, I just somehow get DS's. And I got another I somehow get DS's. Because we were talking about this the other day. I think Sulfur was talking about it with us, actually, where we were talking about the DS's having, it's not region locked, it's region free. So you can play any games, but the DSi's aren't. So my regular Nintendo DS was broken, like the top screen was broken, so I could only play Game Boy games on it, because you could set the screen to be the bottom screen. And so I'd play Game Boy games on it, like Game Boy Advance, I should say. And I bought I bought Pokemon Conquest, but from the UK, and I was very upset to find out that I couldn't play it because all the DSs I had that had functioning top and bottom screens were a DSi, 2 3DSs, right? So I didn't have it. And I was like, fuck. I'm like, I guess I can't play it now, because it was already hard to find the game at the point that I bought it, because it was like, it's already been out, not many people bought it. And the only one I could find was like a UK one off Amazon. And so I was like, damn, that sucks. I really wanted to play this Pokemon Conquest game. And so I kind of like told my mom about it. I was like, I don't really know. And so she comes up to me like a week later or something like that, and she goes like, you know the game, your Pokemon Conquest game you're talking about? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, well, here. And she hands me a silver Nintendo DS, like one of the classic ones. I'm like, oh my god, what did you? I'm like, I can't, like, did you buy this? I feel bad now, but like, I appreciate it. And she's like, oh, I didn't buy it. My friend gave it to me. And I was like, your friend just gave you a DS? And she goes, yeah, she bought herself a DS and Mario years ago, thinking that she was gonna get into it, and she just never did, and she never used it, and that DS has been collecting dust in her house for years. And so I posted on Facebook talking about your situation where, if any of our friends had DSs that they were willing to sell, I would buy them off it. And she just said, you can just have this one. And so she just gave me a DS. And so I'm like, I have like 5 DSs just because I just happen to be in situations where I get them. It's kind of gnarly. I'm very fortunate. Like, I'm not always thankful enough for the things that have happened to me in my life, you know, because I think I, much like many other people, focus a lot on the negatives of life, you know, like, oh, I had a bad day, you know, like, I haven't been feeling good this week, you know, like, shitty month. But when I look back at my life, there's a lot of really good moments in it that I'm very thankful for, and that I should be more, you know, more grateful for, because I could be in such a worse situation than I am. Like, I'm very grateful that I have 4 people sitting in my chat right now just listening to me talk about nothing while I troubleshoot my Wi-Fi. You know, like, you know, I can say like, oh my god, my life sucks, the Wi-Fi keeps going in and out and fucking up, but like, I'm pretty grateful that I even have internet to begin with. Like, I have such good internet to begin with, so it's hard to you know, feel bad for myself. What's even the point of region locks? I assume my only thought for the significance or the reason that people would, or companies want to region lock something is, my only assumption would be that it would be to prevent people from purchasing games outside of their country for cheaper prices. Is my only thing. Because, like, I know different companies will price their games differently based on the country of origin. So, like, some, like, say, like, I don't want to call out any country for any particular reason, but say Brazil for some reason, you know, right? Maybe some people go, well, our games are a little bit expensive. Like, if we do USD to Brazilian dollars, it might not sell as well because people don't have that kind of income. So we'll lower it and say maybe sell it for $15 US versus $60 in America, and then more people can buy it in that country that maybe they wouldn't be able to before. And then they wouldn't want people to go in and go, well, I don't want to pay the $60 in the US. I'm just going to go buy the Brazilian version. The Brazilian version has all the same features as the other one, you know, it's just the Brazilian version. That's my only understanding of why region locks would exist. Other than that, it's just kind of silly. ALNNTSC displays were incompatible during the CRT days. Games made for one wouldn't work on the other. That's interesting. So that's another reason, like, I guess, like, that's sort of like a soft region lock, I guess you could say. Like, it wasn't necessarily intentional that they wanted to lock people out, but it locked them out nonetheless. The last Pokemon game you played was Sword and Shield. Haven't played the DLC of that one, though. Yeah, that's fair, that's fair. I'm trying to catch up on stream. Sword and Shield is a game. You know, I try not to shit on, like, games like Pokemon Sword and Shield and stuff like that. Because just because I didn't like it doesn't mean it's, like, a bad game. Like, I don't think it's the best Pokemon game. I enjoyed it for what it was, you know? But, like, looking back at it, I'm like, they could have done so much better. I really think, like, for me, Scarlet and Violet, or Scarlet specifically, I always talk about them both, like, as one game, but, like, Scarlet for me is the most fun I've ever had playing a Pokemon game. So, but I know a lot of people hate Scarlet and Violet, so, like, I shit on Sword and Shield, and then, like, I cry when people shit on Scarlet and Violet. I don't cry, but, like, I feel shitty because, Scarlet and Violet, you know? Interesting. I don't know if I've ever... Like, I'm not very familiar with NES games, so I don't know... I don't know anything about Elite. But that's fascinating. But I guess that just makes sense for the time, because, like, you have all these companies probably from different countries, of course, as well, that, like, are all developing their own things at the same time. And so, obviously, some become more popular in certain places than other things. So, you end up having a thing of, like, there isn't, like, one... You know, it's like game consoles, right? You know, some games are made for specifically a Nintendo console. You can't play it on other ones. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's an interesting conundrum, because there's no, like... Nowadays, I feel like everything is designed to work, like, everywhere, almost. Like, the only thing I could think of is, like, slightly different is, like, in the UK versus, like, other areas of the world. I don't know if other areas follow UK. You know, I don't know which ones. I just know, like, in London, like, England and stuff, they do this. Or they have these kind of, like, the different outlets versus, like, where I live in Canada, we have different outlets compared to them. So it's, like, that's the only thing that I can think of, like, right now that are, like, specifically made differently. And it's probably... I think it's due to, like, the wattage. The opening to Scarlet caused me physical pain. How does your opening cutscene lag and stutter? That late into the system's lifespan after you've already released multiple games that perform better. See, this is the thing too, though. I feel like, for me, I've never been, like, a frame rate guy. Like, to an extent I am, because you guys will see me on stream, like, oh my god, this thing's, like, lagging, I hate it. But I've never been, like, a big frame rate guy. I've always had, like, lower end PCs and stuff until, like, kind of recently. So, I never worry about that stuff, necessarily. I've never, like, as long as it's fun. But people always talk to me, like, my friend Merlin, when I would talk to him about Scarlet and Violet, he's like, I can't play Scarlet and Violet. Like, it's unplayable. Like, I can't play it. And I'm like, I don't think it's unplayable. Like, huh? Like, that's a very big, like, difference from me and him. Like, I can play it. Like, I enjoy it thoroughly. And I think it's just, like, maybe it's the consoles that people had. Like, I think some people's Switches just suffered worse than others. Like, I noticed the frame drops in this game, but, like, I don't think I noticed any problems during the opening cutscenes. Maybe I have them recorded, so maybe if I look back at them, I'll see them. But when I first played the game, like, right there, I just had a big frame drop. Like it still has it, but I don't remember it being, like, bad while I played it. Like, other than, like, certain points and then, like, framey issues. But, like, I've never, like, that doesn't bother me, though, too. So, like, maybe someone sees that and they go, that is, like, a fucking bullet to my head. Like, that is, like, a thumping on my temple, you know? Like, it just agonizes me. But for me, I'm like, this Pokemon, I don't know. So, it's interesting, because I feel like people have such drastically different experiences playing this game. You have your gripes with Sword and Shield, but it's also the first time you really got into Pokemon games. For years? Yeah. Yeah, I think Sword and Shield, like, I had a fun time when playing it. It's just looking back at it, I think about, like, when I look at this game versus Sword and Shield, like, maybe we just have different opinions, and that's completely fine. But when I look at this game versus Sword and Shield, I'm like, this game is so, like, infinitely better. I personally think that Legends Arceus is better than both of them. But that's also because I like Sinnoh. Like, I'm a Gen 4 baby, so, like, you know, Gen 4 is the new Gen 1, you know, right? all the people who play Gen 4 are now adults now telling us about, oh, it was better back in my day. Back in my day, we used to wait for the health bars to go down, and we were happy. So, I like, I think it's just opinions, and just, like, I feel like some people deal with certain aspects, like, better than others, or worse than others, in a sense, where, like, a lot of, like, my friends, like I said, like, Merlin, like, he was telling me, like, it's unplayable for me. And for me, I'm like, I had, like, this is, like, literally the most fun I've ever had playing a Pokemon game is Scarlet. Just thinking about EMAX Eternus gets you mad. The story is really, like, disappointing. I think that's also the reason why I love Scarlet and Violet so much, is, like, Scarlet and Violet isn't by any means, like, a perfect story. Like, by any means, right? I'm not here to, like, come to say to you that this is, like, the perfect game. Like, I think this game is, like, laughably bad in certain instances. Like, I think that they should be embarrassed with the frame rate. I feel like it should have had a little bit more time in the oven. I feel like there should have been dynamic levels based on how many gym badges you had for the gym leaders. Like, they should have scaled. There shouldn't have been just, you could do it in any order you want, but if you go to the last gym, it's gonna be level 80s. You know, like, that's stupid. But, like, the story for this game for me was so good. It was so different. And the three winding paths to me felt like there was always something going on, and there was always a choice I could make, and there was always a place I could go, and just, like, I've never felt bored playing the game. Like, we spent, like, the first stream of this game, we spent, like, 2 hours of it just running around and after getting Koraidon. It was so much fun. Like, it takes a while to get into it, because you gotta get, like, Koraidon and stuff before you can really, like, start sinking your teeth in with the momentum. But, like, I was running around the first area catching things, you know, checking out the new Pokemon in the first area, looking like, oh, that's a Fletchling. Oh, dude, the Tarantula is hanging on the tree. That's so cool. You know, like, I was like, so into it. Like, everything about this game. It was all the little stuff, all the characters, and the DLC. I love the DLC. Kitakami legs like dog shit. And that's horrible, and I think it's terrible, and I think they should definitely have not... They should have fixed it. Like, it should have not been that bad. Like, Kitakami's still legs. Like, dog shit for me. But I love the DLC. Love the DLC. Both of them. I love Kitakami's DLC. It's a fun after-school trip, you know, field trip where you meet friends. The, second DLC is like a somewhat challenging to an extent DLC where all the things are dealt in double battles, and you get interesting type diverse teams, and, like, all this stuff going on with the story. It's like, I love all of it. You've not played more than a few minutes of of Scarlet and Violet, so you have no opinions on the gameplay, and that's valid. And you know what? You're a better man to say that than like some other people, because some people maybe would have just gotten to the first cutscene like you, and would have been like, no, this game's dog shit, it plays horribly, and it's like, well, you didn't even play it, and it's like, well, yeah, I got to the first cutscene, you know, like, so you're a good man for telling us that, hey, you know, I didn't actually really get that far, so I can't say too much about the gameplay, but yeah, I love like almost everything about this game. It's definitely not, it's not a good game. This is what I always have to tell people is Scarlet and Violet is a terrible game. Like, it is not a good game, but it is a fantastic Pokemon game, in my opinion. I also think it has one of the best battle gimmicks we've ever had with terastallizing. Whew. We love terastallizing in this house. I like Megas more, but I like terastallizing as well. And they really made the strongest Pokemon ever, this big boss, and then they make you fight it 2-on-1 with 2 legendaries. Yeah. Though I will say, I guess, to that point, the one big thing, because you talk about Gmax Eternatus and hating it, but Emax Eternatus, or I guess Gmax Eternatus, to be fair, was the progenitor of all of the epic boss fights we got in Scarlet and Violet. You know? Like, maybe, you know, maybe people didn't like it as much, but like the Koraidon fight, it was very like, you couldn't fail it, but it was dramatic and I loved it. The Ogerpon fight was incredible in my opinion. It felt super exciting. The Ursaluna fight was really cool. Like, and I guess that would consider, you know, Sword and Shield was the progenitor of that style of fight, where you take down a boss and then you have 100% catch rate to catch that Pokemon after defeating it. I love that. I think that is one of the greatest additions they've ever added to Pokemon, is allowing it so that you can go in, you have a really cool boss fight, and the challenge isn't, oh, is my number going to roll positive this time? Am I going to get a good capture roll? And it's, can I beat this thing? Because I, like, I hate catching legendaries, and I hated catching legendaries, like, in other older games, because it was just like, okay, save in front of the legendary, okay, I have 99 Ultra Balls, okay, we lowered it to 1 HP, we put it to sleep, okay, now let's just chuck balls, okay, well, we're running out of balls, okay, well, hopefully we can get it soon, and it's like, either, okay, we didn't get it, now I have to reset, or, we got it, yeah, you know, like, it would, like, Legends have always been, like, somewhat annoying to catch. And so, like, having those battles and just make it a hard fight that's exciting and interesting, or just make it, like, an interesting fight and then give us 100% catch rate on the thing. I guess you didn't catch Koraidon in that one, but, like, Ursaluna and Ogerpon, like, it was so cool. Yeah, I think it's much better if you like either get another shot to catch it if you fail to catch it, or you can or just like lets you catch it. Like, that's why I really like it that it like it's 100% catch rate, because especially too, like, it's not the most important thing for me, but sometimes I like to try and match Pokemon with Pokeballs. So, like, maybe I see a Pokemon that I really, really like, and, like, this Vulpix, right? And I'm like, I really love this Vulpix, but I want to get it in a Premier Ball. So now I have to, like, whittle it down, try not to have it die, and throw Premier Balls at it, praying that it catches, right? Watch this be shiny. Like, praying that it's shiny, right? Or praying that it catches in the Premier Ball. But if you get into like Ursaluna and Ogerpon, like Ogerpon for me, like one of the funnest things about the DLC for me was when I fought Ogerpon, and I think like earlier in the DLC, or we were like talking about like, oh, Ogerpon's my friend. Oh, I love Ogerpon. Ogerpon's my friend. Oh, it's so cute. I love Ogerpon. And we were like, okay, we beat Ogerpon, and we beat Ogerpon pretty handily. It wasn't difficult, but it was a cool fight. I really enjoyed it. And I'm scrolling through the balls like, oh, I'm gonna get a 100% catch rate. I wonder what ball I should put it in. Oh my gosh, I have a friend ball. Ogerpon's my friend, and I catch it in the friend ball. Like, that wouldn't have happened in like other Pokemon games. I would have been like, no, broke out, sorry, idiot. And I would have cried because it would have been my only friend ball that I would have never used, because I know that once I try to use it on a Pokemon I want, it's probably gonna break out, you know. So I just like might as well always go for the Ultra Balls, always go for the Quick Balls. And then I think we got Ursaluna in... And we got Ursaluna in a Premier... or a Luxury Ball, yeah. Like, Ogerpon's my friend. Lima is my friend. And I did get the Vulpix in the... I did get the Vulpix in the nice Premier Ball. You catch all your legendaries in Premier Balls? Yeah, like... I don't know, it just makes it more fun, I think. Like, I hate... There's more things I can gamble my time with, like the Cramomatic or whatever, or the Pokeball gotcha machine in this game. Like, I can gamble my time with other things. I don't need to gamble my time with trying to catch legendaries. And that might be a controversial opinion. I know different people have different opinions, and you're allowed to disagree with me 100%. But that's just my feelings with it. I'm like, I just, like it when we can... When they make it a cool boss fight. Because it'd also be annoying if it was like a really difficult boss fight and then also difficult to catch. Yeah, we love gambling here, but I don't like gambling my time as much. Knock on wood. You know, we had a little bit of a frame droppy thing earlier, but knock on wood. I mean, like, frame droppy as in stream frame droppy, not game frame droppy. Game frame droppy has been dropping like crazy. We had a stream frame droppage a little bit. And overall, relatively stable. So maybe them resetting it is good. Maybe it's because my Ethernet cable is no longer connected. And maybe because maybe my Ethernet cable just died 2 days ago or whatever. But knock on wood, it's been good. It was like, because we would know if it went out, because it would go out on everybody, right? Like, we know it would be bad. So hopefully maybe the reset did it. I don't know. I definitely don't want to go upstairs and be like, yo, I think it's fixed, and then, like, tomorrow it fucks off again. So let's hope it stays fixed, because I don't want, like, to go up, say it's fixed, they, like, it fucks off again, and they say, like maybe my family, like, emails them saying, like, oh, we don't need the technician to come out, actually, because it's fixed. You know, like, imagine that. Like, it's, oh, it's fixed. We come out, it's not fixed. I'm pretty sure the Stella Terra-type Pokemon can be shiny. Also, I'm pretty sure this is the worst place to shiny hunt for outbreaks, because the cave, like, spawns 2 Pokemon for some reason. I just saw it because it was Cubchoo. I think it's like you gotta walk into the cave and come out or something. I remember someone was shiny hunting Cyndaquil here, and it was really frustrating. Ooh, I've been enjoying this stream, though, just running around. Like, my friends... my friend, wanted me to help him get the shiny charm for his game. And to get the shiny charm, of course, you have to, you know, get all the Pokemon in the national decks for this game. And so he wanted to do that. and so he enlisted my help to try and get him some more of that, so we could shiny hunt together. And I'm like, I haven't really played this game forever, but I'll put it back in and like look around and see what I have out of your list of things. I ended up basically having everything. You still haven't completed the Kitagami decks? I'm pretty sure I've completed all the decks. I think it's this button, right? Yeah. I think I've completed all the decks because I'm a fucking nerd. I don't remember what you get for... I think this one's like the Mark Charm or something like that. Or the Egg Charm. I think this one gives you like the Catching Charm. I don't remember. But I remember I was like, I need to get the Shiny Charm because I like Shiny hunting, I like Shiny Charm. And then I was like, might as well get the rest, you know? I really, really like that they give you the little certificates as an image. I took a picture of it when I got all of them. I took a picture of each one. I really, really like that. I think it's super cute. I kind of wish my printer worked, because if my printer worked, I would print it out and frame it like it's like an actual degree. Oh! Right. The terrestrial crystal shard thing. You're so right. I think it's kind of nuts that, like, I don't know what the future holds for us, but if they don't have a competitive, like, I can't imagine they don't have, like, a competitive mode for Pokemon ZA, but they didn't have a competitive, like, PvP mode for Legends Arceus. So ZA might be the same, but, if they don't, and it comes out, like, next year, like, we're gonna have, like, we're probably gonna have another year of Scarlet and Violet at Worlds, which is kind of nuts. I'm very interested to see what they do. I feel like they're going to release it next year, and that's gonna be Worlds. Is Pokemon Legends ZA. Because I just don't think they work on all these megas not to put them in the competitive scene. Do you think... no. I was gonna say, like, do you guys think they, like... Nah, never mind. I don't even know where I was going with it. My brain lost it. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. I also feel like this game has such good additions to the decks. Like, the Pokemon in this game are so good. Like, I don't know if this is my favorite generation of Pokemon for, like, the decks, but, like, it has so many iconic Pokemon, and I feel like a lot of, like, it's like this gen and last gen are some of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Like, Smoliv's definitely up there. Ralt is my favorite Pokemon, but not from this gen. Mousehold, I really like. You know, there's like Armoroge and Ceruledge are really cool. Ursaluna, both normal and Blood Moon. The Hisuian Zoroark, like the Hisuian Pokemon. Like, I feel like recently they've been cooking with designs. Like, I know there's gotta be, but like, I genuinely can't think of one Pokemon off the top of my head that I'm like, That's a bad design. Like, maybe Flamingo? But it's just because it's a flamingo? Yeah, I'm like, I feel like there's no Pokemon I hate in this gen. Which is really nice. I mean, you know what? Actually, never mind. I don't hate it, but I really didn't like Quavival or whatever the final evolution of Quaxley is. Quaquaval. I didn't like that. I didn't like that one. But I don't hate it. Spidops gets damn near, though. That's valid. Spidops is very, like... It's like they really had an opportunity to do something with the bug Pokemon, and they just said, nah. Literally made, like, one of the weakest bugs. I'm gonna head back to the Squirtle location if I can. I'm praying in ZA, though, that they have the overworld shiny sounds. And Sparkle. So that, like, when a shiny appears on the screen, you actually know it's there. I don't even know if this is where I was finding the Squirtles. I think it's further down. I just still got like 7 minutes on this one. I'm still eating my dinner. We got 2 shiny flower Pokemon. We got a shiny Deerling. And we got a shiny, and 2 shiny Conphase. Not bad. Brother. Not exactly the shiny I was asking for. But you just need to speak it into existence, I suppose. I thought Focus Energy was takedown for a second. I'll throw you Premier Ball, I guess. That's kind of sick. I already have a shiny. I think I have 2 shiny Tyrug, so I could get all 3 now. Like Hitmontop, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan. If you guys got a nickname for it, let me know. And if I've missed any nicknames that you guys have suggested, please remind me. I love that Helios is just hanging out in the party because I put him in here. Doesn't have any marks. I mean, I guess it would have shown up, but... Like Potato said. Now, if only we could get a shiny Squirtle, right, game? We probably have... We probably still have... Yeah, we still have some shiny power left, sparkling powder left. You want to give me a shiny Squirtle? That's not asking for too much, right? Speaking of random Pokemon things, one of the, So Pokemon is re-released. I talked a little bit about this, but Pokemon is re-released in North America. Or is doing a North American distribution of the Pokemon Psycho Soda Pop Refresh plushie designs. And they're these really, really cool, like, I don't know how to describe them, but they're these really, really cute Pokemon plushes that have these really unique eyes and really unique shape, and they're really pretty. And they were only released in Japan. And, I've been, like, obsessed with them forever. But they're all, like, super rare and really expensive. So I hear that they're I heard that they're re-releasing them in America, and I was like, I need to, like, get at least one, right? Like, I need to get at least one. So I bought the Squirtle one, because I don't have a Squirtle plush, and I've always wanted, like, and I love Squirtle, so I was like, I'll get a Squirtle plush of it. It's a little bit more expensive than the Sitting Cuties, but also everything's getting a little bit more expensive nowadays, so it's kind of like, you know, can't win. So I bought it, and I was like, this is epic. I'm happy. I feel fulfilled. But back when I was, like, looking through these all the time and, like, checking different websites and stuff, there were two that I really wanted really badly. The one that I really badly wanted, like, was, like, for sure thinking about getting it for an insane price, like, was the Larvitar one. And the Larvitar one, excuse me, back when it was, the Larvitar one, back when it was Japan only release, was, like, super rare, and people were selling them for upwards to, like, $200, right? And, like, I was never gonna buy it for $200, but I was delusionally thinking, like, you know what, I would, like, I was, like, almost, like, to the point where I was considering dropping $200 for this plush, because it's the only good-looking Larvitar plush in existence. And then the other one, there's two versions of it, but I just got the regular one. Maybe I'm thinking of a different version, actually, and maybe there isn't two versions of this one. But the other one is the Jirachi one. And the Jirachi one was also really expensive. It was like maybe like $90 or $100 or something like that. It was like kind of expensive as well if you want to buy the Japanese one only. So they come out, right? And they're $25 each. So that's not bad, considering that I was about to drop. I would have had to drop upwards to like $190, not including, or $290, not including shipping, to get this from Japan to my house. So, I was like, I don't really have, like, I have the money for one, right? But I want both, because I'm a greedy bastard. And so I was like, okay, let's strike a deal with my family. And I go up to my mom, and I'm like, Mother, birthday's right around the corner, you know, Christmas is almost here. Sometimes you just want a present to give to someone when they're just, you know, you think they deserve a present. You know what I'm saying? So, would you go splitsies on me with this? And, I'll buy one. Oh, I thought that, dude, I don't know why. I thought that was a shiny Beldum. I was like, huh? I'll go splitsies with you. You buy one, I buy one, right, on this thing. Because I'm like, if I do buy these, it's like $10 shipping on the Pokemon Center store, like, for anything. And so I'm like, if I do want to get these, like, I don't want to, like, buy one for $25 plus taxes plus shipping, which would maybe make it like $40, versus, like, putting the $50 together plus tax plus shipping, making like $60, right? You know, 60 versus 80, you're saving quite a bit of money. So I was like, I want to try to get these together if we can, and I would appreciate if you're willing to, like, split the cost with me. And she's like, kind of rolls her eyes, because I'm always, like, trying to buy Pokemon plushes every 2 seconds. So she's like, yeah, okay, yeah, we can do that. I ended up paying, like, more than half of the money. Like, I paid all the shipping. I paid, like, a lot of the stuff. She paid, obviously, her end. Like, I'm not saying she didn't pay anything. But I'm like, I made sure to pay most of it, because it's like, I don't want this to be, like, her buying me things. Like, I just want it to be, you know, like, if she happens to want to give me a present ever, you know, she got a free present to give that she spent, like, she got a deal on, you know, not a free present. And so I have those two now. Because I worked out the early release of the Jirachi, because I did a commission for her. She needed me to do some art thing for a baby shower. So I was like, you give me $15 and a Pokemon plush, and you got a deal, Uwu. And she was like, okay, whatever. and so I got both of those, right? Long fucking terrible, boring story. Please stop talking. Another shiny Deerling. another boring, stupid story later, anyways. The reason I'm telling you this is I feel so vindicated because they are the only 2 Pokemon plushes in that set on the Pokemon Center that are out of stock. Like, maybe they'll restock them, you know, maybe, but they are out of stock, which means if they don't restock them, and I didn't get them, I wouldn't have gotten them, probably. I wouldn't get them. Or I would have to shill out an insane amount of money for maybe a cheaper variant, not $200, but maybe like $80 for, like, a little Larvitar one. So I feel so vindicated in myself that I got it. Because they're 2 of the, like, best-looking plushes from the sets. The Larvitar one, I love Tyranitar. I was looking... This was actually... The reason I started looking for a Tyranitar/Larvitar/Pupitar plush was because I was looking for one when we did the... some of you guys may have not been here, but we did a thing... I would like to make a YouTube video about it. But we did a thing, like, last year, I think. It might have been last year or 2 years ago at this point. Where I had a random number generator play Pokemon. Where basically I controlled her movements. It was Allie. Her name was Allie. She was a random number generator that I coded that would play Pokemon, and basically I would turn her on and she would just click random buttons randomly, but I would control her movement. So like she needs to go to point A to point B, I'm controlling it. So we need to get through Mount Moon, I'm controlling it, right? The moment we get into a battle, she switches on, she clicks all the moves, she opens the bag, and we could sit there for like 7 hours of her just opening and closing the bag, or we could insta-kill it one shot. And so all the Pokemon that needs to get caught are completely up to her. I chose the starter, which was like a Charizard. A Charmeleon, I think, was actually. It was randomized as well. And another long, boring story short, the first Pokemon that she caught was actually off-stream. I think I wanted to grind levels with her or something, so I took her out. And I was like, of course, she hasn't caught a single Pokemon on stream, but of course she's going to probably catch one off stream, and it's going to be annoying. But the first Pokemon she caught, the first Pokemon she caught was a Pupitar, named Heckum. Hyekqm. Heckum. We ended up changing, because before, she would hit B really quickly, whenever, like, you know, it was just too high of a chance for her to hit B while, like, the naming thing came up. So we decided to make another code where we would get 3 names that would be randomly generated from, like, a list of, so it's like, if you can have, like, 10 characters in a name, we would randomly select 10 letters from the alphabet, and then we'd pick 3 of those, we'd put it on stream, and we'd vote which one sounds the funniest or the coolest. And Heckum was what we ended up naming, what Allie ended up naming the Pupitar. And to me, you know, like, in a person that likes looking at stories, likes looking at, like, patterns where there are none, to me, that was, like, for me, she instantly threw that ball at Pupitar. Like, she wanted it. She instantly saw that Pupitar, and she wanted it. She threw the ball, and she caught it. She didn't catch any other Pokemon that entire game, but she saw Pupitar came up on screen, and she caught it. Obviously, purely random. But I was like, that's her favorite Pokemon now. Like, she just made her first connection. That's her Gyarados, right? Like, that's her first favorite Pokemon is Pupitar. And so after we finished that series, which we streamed it on Twitch, I would like to edit them down into YouTube videos and do like more of a commentary one, but I gotta finish the 100 Days Pirate adventure first, and that's goddamn. But so I was like, after that, I'm like, I kind of want a Pupitar or like a Tyranitar or a Larvitar plush, you know? Like, to kind of commemorate it. But all the Larvitar plushes look like ass. The Tyranitar ones, like the Sitting Cutie Tyranitar looks cool, but I don't like the Pupitar one. It just does, or the Larvitar one doesn't look good. The Pupitar one's fine, but I wanted like something cuter, and then I saw the Larvitar one from the the Psycho Soda, and I was like, that was when I discovered it and wanted it. And so, yeah, so that now I have Hecam the Larvitar. She was technically never a Larvitar, but it just, you know, I'm just happy I had it. And like, so that's why I was like, that's why I wanted it to begin with and knew it existed, was because of that. I wouldn't have known it existed unless I had done that. And I fell in love with the style of plushies, because I love stuffed animals. Stuffed animals are like my favorite things to collect. I love stuffed animals. They're like my favorite style of Pokemon plushes that I've seen ever. And so I've loved them. I love them so much. I love them so much that I was looking for them everywhere because they weren't in stock by the time I was looking for them at the first time. That apparently there's a lot of bootlegs out there. So I have a really off-color Eevee that's like a yellow Eevee. It kind of looks like a mixture of Eevee and Pikachu in that style. I love it. But obviously not official. I'm glad I could actually pick up official merch of it. Oh yeah. Thank you. I did see that. I was gonna mention that. I completely forgot. I think you have to move them to your party to check what specific thing is. But yeah. Thank you for reminding me. But yeah, I want to make, because not a lot of people know about Allie's adventure other than the people that were on the stream. Oh, it's sociable. Aw, well, that's probably because it's gonna be sociable with all the other deerlings that we have. So, like, I know a lot of people weren't around when we did Allie. I would like to do another Allie stream. It's just kind of a hit or miss, like, because when we did Misty's gym, that was probably the hardest part for me, because it was just Allie misplaying constantly and, like, not... It was like, she had a Meg Cargo, not to spoil it, but I think she had, like, a Meg Cargo that kept using Smokescreen, and it was lowering our accuracy, and then Allie was just not attacking it. Like, she could... I'm like, you can kill it. You just need to hit it first. And she was just not attacking it ever. And it was, like, so frustrating. And it was just, like... It was, like, 3 hours of us trying to beat the gym. Like, that's why it's, like, a hit or miss, because it's completely random. And, like, Pokemon is kind of an easy game, where if you get high enough level, you can basically kind of beat anyone. But if it's a random number generator and it's, like, she gets to dictate what moves are kept, she gets to dictate, like, everything. So if she decides, oh, I don't need Flamethrower anymore, I'm going to learn Scary Face, like, she might just remove one of her best moves. I was able to control, like, TMs, so I could teach her Pokemon TMs and stuff. But yeah, it was like, so Misty's gym, I remember being like the worst. Like, I think I said, like, I'm not having fun right now or something like that during it. And I remember Flair being like, then stop playing. And I'm like, that's not going to get it to be done. You know, it's not going to be, we're not going to beat Misty by quitting. And I think we ended up not beating Misty that stream, and we had to pick it up next stream. But I would like to do it again at some point, or at least, at the very least, get the original video, or original streams into, like, maybe, like, a 5 or 4 video series. You know, where we just kind of talk about the major things that happen, like, because Allie did some incredible things. Like, there's clips on my channel of Allie. She did some incredible things in that run that are very unbelievable. Like, I would not believe some of the shit that happened if I wasn't the one who coded Allie. And the final stream was just so good. So It ended poetically. It was really good. So I would like to do it again at some point. I don't know what game I'd want to do it. I'd have to double check the code as well because I haven't used that code in forever. I know it was very jank. Because basically the concept was Allie wouldn't play the game. She would play my computer. So I would hit like on. And she would just start typing on my computer and that would control the game. And so sometimes if I tried to tab out of the game, right? Allie was in control of my computer. Like one of the first renditions, look at that swarm of freaking Charmanders. One of the first renditions of Allie, you know how like, I can't remember the control configuration, but if you hit like a certain number or certain type of keys, like control shift or something like that, and then hit one of the arrow keys, you actually can flip your desktop to be like sideways or upside down. When I first made Allie, and tested it out, I tabbed out of the game, and she flipped my computer 360. Like, she flipped it because of the buttons she was clicking. It just happened to be in sequential order to do it. So, she's a little bit scuffed, but we love her. She's my little daughter. She likes her chicken nuggies and her Coca-Cola. And her chalky milk. She's a good kid. Ugh. Maybe we have her play black and white or something. That would kind of be fun. I don't even really remember her team at the end. All I remember is that she had a Tyranitar by the end and she had a Charizard. I can't even really remember. Like, she had a pretty good team, too. Like, also, I should say that I was controlling what was going on the team. So if she, like... Allie goes to Pokewood. That would be funny. I controlled what Pokemon were on her team for the most part. There was one Pokemon that I got vetoed out by chat for. And, but, like, I say she caught, like, you know, a Tauros, but we had a Charizard. It's like, I'm not switching out the Tauros for the Charizard. Unless we felt like, oh, she really likes that Tauros for some reason, you know? Like, we would build the story around it. And infer what she is meaning just by existing. So, like, her team ended up being pretty good because she caught very little Pokemon for the most part, but the Pokemon she did end up catching and the Pokemon we got as gift Pokemon ended up being really good. Like, it was so good. Like, literally, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. That's why I want to make it as, like, a video, because it was so cool. Originally what I wanted to do was there was a channel called Twitch, RNG Plays Pokemon. Well, there's Twitch Plays Pokemon, which was the famous thing where like everybody in Twitch chat would control one player in Pokemon and they would read all their inputs, right? And so someone saw that and they were like, what if a random number generator did that? Like, could a random number generator beat Pokemon? And so they did RNG Plays Pokemon and they set up a random number generator, which I am almost certain... I'm pretty sure they did end up changing it, but, like, the random number generator did beat Pokemon, but I'm almost certain, and I don't want to lay claims anywhere, this is just hearsay, it's just my opinion. I don't think whatever they were doing was random, because we ran Allie in the Discord for a while playing Pokemon Fire Red, before we did the stream. Because I just wanted to see how far she would get, and she didn't get out of Pallet Town over like a week. And like, not to say that it's physically impossible, it's just highly unlikely, I think. It's to the point where it's basically impossible, and we wouldn't probably see it in our lifetime, because just the hazards to get out of the first route, like you have to have a Pokemon that's high enough level at enough HP to win the battles to get out of the first route. You have to get out of your house first, and there's a lot. You could keep going back and forth and get trapped. The fact that she got out of her house was pretty incredible. Getting your starter isn't that difficult because once you get to the top for the first time, Oak will immediately pull you into his lab and you have to basically pick the starter from there. So that's not impossible, but trying to get out of Oak's lab and then trying to go all the way up and then go all the way up through the grass and not have your Pokemon faint and send you back to Battletown and then not have you jump down the ledges that you can't go back up. Like, it's the chances of that all happening are astronomical in number. So, I personally don't believe that the RNG plays Pokemon was pure RNG. And to say Allie is pure RNG, air quotes as well, would be wrong as well. Because I did a lot of tweaking with Allie, and technically, I shouldn't talk with my mouth full, I apologize, I'm very rude. But technically, Allie isn't considered like pure RNG, quote, like air quotes. Like, she is a random number generator, but technically she has a slight favor to hit A over every other button, just because I found that if she hit A more often, things would go a little bit more quickly, because that's except if she hit B a lot, that's going back and not leading to anything. But A would at least open the bag, would at least use an item, would at least open the fight menu, would at least run away, would at least select Pokemon. So I made it so she would slightly hit A more often than everything else, but only slightly. To the point where it wasn't that big of a deal, but it probably did help a lot, you know? Like, I'm not trying to say that, like, we did not do pure RNG to beat the game. I was controlling her. She is not pure RNG in general. She is just a type of random number generator with a small bias. But I think that the RNG plays Pokemon is a really cool concept, but I personally don't think it's actually possible for a random number generator in our lifetime to beat the game, let alone multiple times, which I think, I say they beat the game, but I'm pretty sure they claimed that it beat it like 4 times or something like that. However, I should also state that those games were, or those streams were running like 24/7, at like 500 speed. Okay, the stream didn't drop. It was just the game. That was just pure game lag. Let's see, who's texting me? There's also a channel doing Can Pi beat Pokemon. That's interesting. Do you know if they've beat it yet? That's very interesting. Because there are repeating patterns in it, so it could potentially. But also, like, didn't someone's fish beat Pokemon? I know it had, like, different things, but I know Point Crow's fish beat, like, the DLC of Elden Ring. Or something like that. Which is also, like, basically a random number generator to an extent. I don't know, like, the in-depth details on how they set up their thing. Like, they could set it up where it has a little bit of a bias, where, like, if the fish is swimming in a certain area, maybe they'll, like, have an option to move certain inputs to a more favorable position. But, like, even that I don't really understand. The fish beating the Elden Ring DLC boss? No, it's playing Emerald, and it only got an overleveled Sceptile. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you can get, like, infinite levels, but, like, I don't know if you could beat the game. Not even sure if it beat the rival. Yeah, because it's like, because you got to get past all that shit on the top of the, on that top route. And that's like nearly impossible for something random to get past, because it's the idea that like, it's not the idea that like, it can't happen, but it's the idea that, say you need to go straight up, like 5 things, you know, and if you go down, you'll fall off. The likelihood of you going straight up 5 times the randomizer becomes more unlikely as it goes. Right? You're more likely to hit up 3 times in a row than you are 10 times. Like, the more you add, the more unlikely it becomes. And so, it's hard to believe. And it's not perfect either, because you could go left and go right instead of going up. But, like, the idea that you would hit up enough to get out of there is just very unlikely. But also, talking about Point Crow's fish, I saw that he beat, like, the final boss of, like, the Elden Ring DLC, and I am, like, so confused. Like, I genuinely don't know how that works, because, like, weren't people fucking complaining that the Elden Ring boss is, like, the final Elden Ring boss for the DLC was too hard? Like, if a fish can beat it, like, are you, like, I'm genuinely confused. Like, is it actually hard, or is it, like, did they use an OP build? And then if the fish used an OP build, then, like, what's stopping you from just using it? Like, I'm so confused on that one. We do believe in the infinite monkey theorem, yeah. Like, that's it's the idea that it is possible. It's just highly unlikely is the idea behind what I'm saying. Is like it definitely is possible. It's just so unlikely to happen. You guys remember spending hours on this beach trying to, like, I think it was going over, like, here and grabbing the thistle or whatever? Yeah, the Galaric twigs. I'm gonna just take an opportunity to eat some of my food. That's me knocking on wood, by the way, if you heard that knock. Because I'm just thinking, like, so far so good, man. I'm gonna take it that either the reset is the reason, or that the Ethernet cable being removed is the reason. Until proven otherwise. But so far so good, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not happy that, like, it's not perfectly stable. Like, when I had the Ethernet cable connected, like, the quality of it was pretty stable. And so I'm interested to see how it will be as we go on. And maybe if it becomes unstable, if we do more stuff, I do, like, get a different Ethernet cable, because maybe it's the quality. Because my Ethernet cable is probably old. I don't know how old it is, but it probably is getting up there. I would love to do, like, I have this thought, and I want to know your guys' opinions. It's kind of a hard thing to decide for someone else, but so it's not gonna happen. I mean, you never say never, right? But I want to know your guys' opinion on this. So I really like playing Pokemon. I really love Pokemon. Pokemon is, like, such an important thing to me, and I always see these PokeTuber people, like, getting invited to Worlds, getting free stuff from Pokemon, you know, being, like, a Pokemon ambassador and stuff like that. And I'm like, if I could have anything in the world, that's what I would want. Like, to be partnered with Pokemon and, like, you know, get free shit, basically. No, I would want to be partnered by Pokemon and be, like, a part of something I love, you know? And getting, like, something for being a part of what you love, like, I feel like is the best thing you can possibly get. And so, like, part of me has been really thinking about maybe starting, like, a solely Pokemon channel where I just only play Pokemon games. But I also feel like it's such a hard thing to try to do, because even if I was, like, a solely Pokemon channel, I really need to, like, one, I would have to probably be pretty family friendly. Two, I wouldn't probably be able to make any, like, ROM hacks or like play any ROM hacks or fan games. Like, I'd probably only be able to play regular Pokemon games. I probably wouldn't even be able to do a randomizer. You know, like, I'd probably have to do, like, vanilla Pokemon stuff. But I'm like, part of me is like, should I even, like, shoot my shot at, like, starting a Pokemon channel just to see if, like, hey, one day Pokemon hits me up and goes, you know, not abandon this channel, but, like, you know, just set up a different channel so it's, like, separate from this one, because I know that Pokemon will never look at my channel and go, like, oh yeah, this is the guy we want to fucking put our cart behind. You know, this is the horse we want a better race on. But, like, also, I don't know if it's, like, if that's too much for me, like, to try and, like, do 2 channels if I'm trying to do, like, daily uploads on this channel, which I'm already failing to do. And then also trying to do a different channel where I have to, like... Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know, man. And then also I'd have to be like, well, I want to do Pokemon on this channel, too. But I would... If, say, like, a new Pokemon game comes out, I'd probably want to play it on the Pokemon-only channel. But I would want to also play it on the Unchained channel. So I think I should probably just accept the fate that Pokemon will never love me as much as I love them. Because, like, doing all of that... Like, I could do all of that and, like, never get anywhere. Because, like, fucking, I'm a nobody, right? Like, right now, like, if I was successful in, like, Twitch or YouTube or something, and I had, like, a big enough audience and something, and I felt like I could actually achieve it, I would do it. Like, if I felt like, you know, I was good enough at the game, you know, at the content creator game, then maybe I would do it. But I feel like right now I should just try and focus on one thing and see where it goes. One channel and see where it goes. But I don't know. We will see. Cause, dude, I would kill. I saw so many of my, like, of these PokeTubers that I love getting, like, free shit from Pokemon. To be fair, like, Purple Cliff is he's kinda family friendly, but not really. He's, like, family friendly adjacent, in my opinion. And he's partnered by Pokemon, but he's also, like, one of the biggest PokeTubers now, I guess. It's, like, hard to say what they're looking for in Pokemon. But, dude, it would be killer. That's definitely, like, a dream. Now we always gotta check the Deerling's head since we got 3 of them. And then I was thinking about... So... I don't know. I don't like the idea of receiving too much from people. Like, I appreciate anyone's support, no matter big or small, right? But I don't want to feel the need to, like, pressure people, you know? Like, if you give me $0 for the entire time you watch me, like, that's okay. You know? If you watch me with ad blocker, that's fine. You know, like, if I don't get ad money from you, that's fine. I mean, I'd prefer it, but that's fine. If you never donate, like, never sub, like, that's completely good. Because I don't really like it when people spend too much money on me. Because it makes me feel uncomfortable to an extent, because I feel, you know, I don't want you, like, you know, if you spend money on me a little bit, it's very kind of you, and I appreciate the support, and all the money that goes into it will go to stuff for the channel, probably games, probably new mics and stuff. So, who knows, but, but I've been thinking of, ooh, low battery. I've been thinking of potentially starting to do. Okay, well, I have a sorry, I'm explaining this horribly. I have a throne, you know, like, so if you don't know what throne is, it's basically this website where you can pay to buy people stuff, and a lot of streamers, like, you can gift people stuff, I should say, and a lot of streamers use it, and they get like a lot of cool different stuff from people that support them. And I'm like, it's really cool. I think that's a really cool thing, but I don't know if I would feel comfortable accepting gifts. And I have a throne, but I don't have it public. So I'm thinking, like, I was thinking the other day, maybe I should make it public just in case someone does want to get me a gift ever. But then I don't want to do it because I don't want to make it feel like I'm telling people to get me gifts. You know? I don't know. It's a conundrum. I tend to overthink everything. But, like, because I was just thinking about getting all of my links together in, like, a... Because you can do, like, the card where you link all your links together and people can click on the link to your links and get linked to whatever they want to be linked to. Link? Yeah! But, like, so I was thinking about that, and I was like, oh, maybe I should put Throne on there finally. And then I, you know, had the conundrum. I might just do it anyways, but, like, just know that, like, I don't need people to get me that stuff, like, a lot of the stuff. Like, I see a lot of people getting stuff, and it's like, I don't need a ton of things. You know, I want for a lot, but I don't need them. And so I don't want people to go out of their way thinking that, like, oh, you know, like, I gotta get them this thing, I gotta get them that thing. But then sometimes if you want to, like, be like, dude, I wish, you know, like, sometimes you see someone and you're like, I wish there was a way for me to, like, express my appreciation towards this person and then, you know, send them a gift or something. Because I've always liked the YouTube channels that did, like, fan mail. I feel like was really cool. And people would give a lot of, like, nice gifts. And, like, again, it's not about the gifts. But it's just about, like, I don't know. Spreading some love, I guess. I don't know. I'll probably end up getting too stressed out about it and not putting it out there. I don't even know if I still have my... Like, I have a throne. I don't even know if it still works, though. Because I haven't, used it since I made it. So they might have, like, booted me off there. I mainly, like, I don't know. I don't know if because I always feel like I need to, if someone gives me a gift, I always feel like I need to give them a gift back. And giving people gifts has always been stressful because I never know what people like. And so I never feel comfortable just, like, accepting gifts from nowhere. But then also part of me feels like, well, if people, like, sub and donate, that's actually going to help me out a lot. So, like, I do want them to do that. But I don't want it to be, like, about that. Like, I don't want the streams to be, like, me e-begging. I just want it to be, like, a fun time with people, so I don't want people to feel like they have to like sub or something just to be a part of the streams. That's why I don't like doing like, it's the biggest conundrum, because like I don't want to do like, say like I get YouTube members or like, you know, like Twitch subs. Like I don't like the idea of putting stuff behind a paywall of like, oh, YouTube members get like this series if you pay for the YouTube membership. But I do want, like, you know, the money helps. And I want to give people, like, who give that money something for that, because I don't want them just giving me money for no reason. So I feel like the need to give them something. But then I feel like that causes people to then go, well, I want to see that thing. And now I guess I have to pay. Or, like, fuck that guy, he put it behind a paywall. I don't know. I don't know, man. And then I definitely don't want too many things as well. I don't know. Man, I overthink things way too much. Because, like, if there's a way people could just give me things, like, some things I'm just, like, I don't need. And then I don't want people spending money on things that I don't need. And then not being, like, grateful for it. Because I'm like, well, I don't need this thing, so like maybe I'll donate it or something, you know, and then I'm like, well, they just spent money on it for me to have it, and now I feel like I probably should keep it. I don't know. Do you think Mill3 hangs out in the cold area because it keeps it chilled and it doesn't go bad? They should do a regional variant of Mill3 and Alcremie that's like Dark Fairy, and it's like the milk has gone bad. Tell me I'm wrong, chat. Tell me I'm wrong. What? No! What? Come on, now I'm not wrong. Why would you tell me that? Unbelievable. Oh. Oh my god, that actually makes me laugh. I also just bit my lip like fucking crazy. So that's gonna feel great with this Nando's Peri Peri ketchup in my mouth, but... do I care? No? Since this isn't technically a real stream, so I don't have to worry about, like, doing random stuff, I want to double check something. Someone was, like, texting me on Twitter. It's probably an art bot. Hopefully it's not. I got 6 notifications. You're so glad you deinstalled Twitter from your phone? Yeah. It does seem like probably like a VFX artist person. Text me. It feels weird because some of these VFX artist people, they, like, because some of them, like, they've already obviously had stolen art, or, like, they use, like, clip art, like, very basic art, or even AI sometimes. But some of these people just, like, genuinely, to me, look like real artists. You know? And I'm sitting there like, is this how you get people to commission you? Like, do people commission people this way? Like, just you going in their DMs and being like, hey, want to commission me? Because I have never, like, I feel like I've never heard anyone go, oh yeah, that's how I found the person. They came into my DMs. You know, like, it's always like, if it's something like that, it's always like, oh, it's someone in my community that I knew that, like, DM'd me and said, like, could I draw something for you or something, you know? Like, it's never, like, someone just came in and or DM'd you randomly and you were just like, yeah, draw something for me. Do you guys want to learn something today? Let me finish eating. Oh my god, that piece of chicken was fighting me. Jesus Christ. This is something I learned the other day. I don't know if it was like a full moon or if there's like Pog Smolin or Smolinated Pog or something in the air. But fucking, I was watching VTube, like a bunch of VTubers. I've actually been watching VTubers recently, which is weird because I usually don't. And for some reason, every single VTuber I came across was just super horny for no reason, or talking about weird, inappropriate things. And not necessarily weird, inappropriate, but like different things of like, you know, like sex and like this and that. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't know any of like I don't watch these like streams ever. And I'm like, and I like go into like I was like, oh, this VTuber seems cool, and they were like talking about like stuff, and then like they rated an ASMR VTuber, and I was like, oh, you know, this is nice. I'll listen to the ASMR of this VTuber. And like halfway through, they were like, oh, I hope you get better so that I can step on you again. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then I'm like, okay, whatever. I click off, and then I like click on a random clips channel, and they just start talking about like sex and things. And I'm like, I was like, what the fuck? I like never watched these, and all of them are just like weird related. I don't know. But anyways, I learned this the other day. I did not know this was a thing, but have you guys ever heard of sad nipple syndrome? It's an actual, like, thing that people have. It was because they were talking about nipple play, that's why I was brought up. But sad nipple syndrome is... I didn't know this was a thing. But it's apparently, like, people... It's a phenomenon that primarily affects people who are assigned female at birth, but it can affect people who are assigned male at birth. But it basically what it is it's people suffer, people with this condition suffer from brief or intense bouts of unhappiness, dread, sadness, homesickness, for like a little bit of time after something touches their nipples. And there's like nobody knows why, really. Like, we don't know why. People just get sad from their nipples being touched or rubbed and stuff. I think it's probably more common in female assigned at birth because breastfeeding probably is a thing. Like, it probably comes on from like some things like breastfeeding, maybe when they're breastfeeding the baby, you know, not when they're breastfeeding, obviously, because obviously everybody breastfeeds, but yeah, it's just people get sad from the nipples and there's no cure and we don't know why. I learned that the other day and I was like, that is the most random thing ever. It's like why some people can't wear certain clothing because like it rubs up against their nipples or something. It's like, maybe that's why I'm depressed. It's like, it's my nipples. The human body is incredibly strange. Depressed, take off your shirt. Exactly. It's so random. I'm gonna keep playing until my controller fully runs out of battery, and then I gotta remember to charge it for next stream. When we play SMT, I'm gonna be like, I have no charge on this controller. Oh, also, I'm not gonna name names just in case for some reason they're watching this, it's not a bad thing. Like, I don't think they're a bad person, but I want to talk about, speaking of GFX artists. So, I was like, one day, I'll always get like random likes or like random follows from people on Twitter, and usually when I click on their accounts, it's like, oh, it's a GFX bot, or like you can tell from like the profile pictures, like, oh, it's probably like an art bot or something, or it's like a OnlyFans bot. And so, one day some random person that I didn't really know, I say random person, but it's just a person I didn't know, liked one of my tweets. And I was like, oh, that's weird. That looks like a GFX bot, I think. But interesting. Okay, fast forward, like, the next day, they liked my tweet. The next day, they liked my tweet. The next day, they liked my tweet. I'm like, they're always liking my Go Live tweets and stuff. It's so random, but I'm like, I appreciate it, but it's so weird. Like, why is this person always liking my Go Live tweets? And I click on their account, and it's a real person. Like, they have a YouTube channel and everything. They, like, stream and stuff. Like, I don't know who this... Like, I've never talked to this person. I didn't watch their stuff at the time. Like, maybe I followed them. I don't know who followed who. But they're a real person. And they make cool content. But it was so weird. Yeah, it's like a mystery, like a little mystery lurker. And it was like, and you know, now that every time I see them like my shit, I get a little bit happy. Like, I'm like, oh, just and now I try to like their shit and stuff, you know, like I try to send back the positivity. But I'm just like, oh, whoa, that's cool. Like, this person that, like, they probably, like, you know, they may not even, like, enjoy my shit. Like, they may think I'm like a doofus or an idiot, but like, you know, like maybe they just think like I'm a friend of one of their mutuals or something like that, or like I'm a mutual with one of their mutuals, so they like just like my shit whenever they see it. But like, I don't know, it makes me feel really happy when I see it. Like, I'm just like, oh, that's really nice. And I don't want to name names because I don't want to feel like it. Like, obviously, I should be like, it's another shiny fucking deerling. Is that not a? That's another shiny deerling, is it not? It's another shiny deerling. At least it's a different color this time. But I don't want to like call. I don't want to call anyone out or whatever. But I watch, like, if they happen to be watching and they know that I'm being very vague about them, because I just don't want to embarrass people or anything, right? I don't want it to end. I don't want them to think I'm weird. You know, I like it. I like what's going on here. So I don't want to like interrupt it. But their content's really good. They do a lot of like talking about like their opinions on things, and it's really, really good stuff. Like, I was just like listening to their shit laying in bed the other night. It's so like it's so fun. So it's like really funny because I'm like, this person's like sick. They're like so cool. They make really awesome content, and they just randomly like my shit. I might not ever say their name out loud just in case, you know. I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable, but maybe one day I'll be like, oh, you guys should go check out this person. They're really cool, you know. Like, one day I'll just like lead you guys to them. Dude, we're getting all the deer. We're getting all the flower shinies. Like, we got the spring form. I don't know if it had a mark. It had something on it. I didn't mean to do picnic. It had like a mark on the zoom in. So I don't know if that means they have a mark or if that's like if it has like a size or something. I don't know what that. Yeah, I don't know what that symbol meant when we zoomed in, but it had some kind of like little symbol. Maybe we need to check if it's like a small version or a big version of something. I don't know if you know that one potato is like, looked like they had like little bunny ears, like a black little bunny sort of silhouette on like a white background. It's smaller than usual. Okay. So if I go to no. I don't even have internet on this right now. I didn't mean to click the button. Okay. Stop! 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 Alright. It's in Mezagoza, right? You can talk to a person. We could have shiny hunted Larvitar over here, but Larvitar is also a really bad shiny. It's really hard to see. So, it means it's smaller than usual, but that doesn't automatically mean that it is, like, a small variant, right? Like, it's not like the smallest. It just might be slightly smaller. So it doesn't mean it's gonna get the mark. This one is a good sight, smaller than average. It's quite a specimen. Take good care of it. So does that mean it is smaller? No. It does not have a mark. Larvitar's getting a special mass outbreak later anyways. Yeah, then I'll wait for that, I guess. It sucks because I feel like Wattrel is also kind of hard to see for a shiny, and that's another one. I kind of want to try to get it just to get it, but I also just like don't like all these ones are like squinting ones other than Riolu. Ugh. 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 Oh, back. I gotta stretch. Oh, my lord. You've already collected your share of watch rolls? Nice. Yeah, I just, like, I don't know if I care. Like, part of me wants to get, like, a full shiny living dex, but, like, part of me also wants to enjoy just playing the game and shiny hunting, so, like, I just do it as I do it. Like, in almost every game, I think the only game I haven't shiny hunted Ralts in is this game, since, like, Omega Ruby. Like, I have a ton of shiny Raltses already. But I still shiny hunt it because that's my favorite Pokemon. Oh, Teddy Ursa. I love Teddy Ursa. Also, I should say, I love... Look, I understand that it's very decisive on whether people like it or not, but I honestly love that Pokemon have become easier to get shiny, or at least, like... Yeah, no, I think it's easier to hunt them, at least. And to attain a shiny if you put in the time. Because I never thought probably my entire life I would be able to, like, play with a team that had, like, a bunch of shinies on it. But, like, Legends Arceus was so fun because I got to play with my favorite Pokemon line, which is Ralts. I got to do a shiny Gardevoir. I had a shiny Zoroark and a shiny Floatzel, so like half my team were shinies. The Floatzel was a random encounter, but I hunted that Ralts day in and day out since we unlocked that. Once we unlocked the area with the Ralts, I shiny hunted that day in and day out for a shiny one, and I'm so happy that I got to play with it. Like, if it was 8,000 odds, that might have taken me a long time. And I understand, like, people want hard hunts, and I think they should be able to have them. But I like the idea of just being able to put in the effort, at least. You can put in some effort and you get it. You don't have to spend, like, hours and years of your life. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I feel bad for the people that like the hard hunts, the long hunts, the 1 out of 8,000 hunts, because you can't really do anything about that right now, because they cut it in half just automatically. But I honestly appreciate it so much that there's so many options to, like, as long as you get the items, put in the time, do the thing, you can get, like, a shiny relatively easily after some work and luck. I thought I'd run through the crater of Paldea for old time's sake before I let you guys go. Though I should say, people make me laugh about shinies. Because people are weirdly, like, elitist about Pokemon. when it comes to, like, everything, but when it comes to, like, shinies especially. Because people, like, I saw this one person post a clip on Twitter, like, yo, I found a shiny, you know, and someone, like, another shiny, like, hunting streamer replied to it, was like, wow, let's get excited after you got a shiny after, like, 15 minutes because you used a sandwich and have the shiny charm. And I'm like, to me, I'm like, what is the point of saying something like that? Like, you know, like, is it, like, are they any less, like, you know, people always say, like, oh, shinies are whatever you mean, like, whatever they mean to you, like, you know? It's just, like, are those people less, like, what is, like, if your point is to say, to try to invalidate that person's, like, happiness, like, is that a good thing? Like, I feel like people are so, like, I don't know, quick to judge and, like, and try to invalidate people's, like, happiness over just their own opinions. Like, someone beats, like someone beats Elden Ring, for instance, right? Someone beats Elden Ring, beats the final boss. Yeah, I'm so happy. You used this weapon and this build, so you didn't really beat Elden Ring. It's like, well, like, why do you care? Like, why would you say that? Like, you're just trying to make that person feel bad. You're not, like, actually giving them information, like, no, you actually didn't beat Elden Ring. There's a secret boss that you could do this. It's like that. Sure. Why not, you know? Like, that's some information at least. But it's like people, like, always feel the need to, like, invalidate people for no reason. Like, it's just your opinion. And, like, people will complain about, like, why, I wish they're, like, you know, shinies weren't so easy in these games. It's like, okay, then stop, like, using all of the methods to get the shiny. Like, just random encounter things. Like, if you want, like, a crazy, like, if you want to make, it's like, well, that's I don't want a random encounter. I want to hunt this specific Pokemon. It's like, well, okay, then you're gonna fucking find it faster than the other Pokemon. Like, I don't know. Like, you know, like, I don't know. I'm not, like, I always say these things, and I need to preface that I am not, like, a perfect being. I'm not levitating above the rest of you. Like, you know, I'm just expressing my opinions, and those people are expressing their opinions, and, you know, whatever is valid is, you know, whatever they think is valid, whatever I think is valid, that's just how it goes. There's no, like, right or wrong, necessarily. But I just feel like, at the end of the day, if you, like, have to go out of your way to, like, if you're trying to, like, if your words are an attempt to tear someone down for being happy, like, I feel like you need to reevaluate, like, why, or, like, what you're going to say and why you need to say it. You know, if someone talked shit, they get hit, right? You know, like, I'm all for that for the most part. But, I don't know, like, because I remember even playing Legends Arceus, I was super excited for all the Pokemon that I collected, all the shiny Pokemon, and I was like, look, guys, like, shiny Pokemon, like, look at all the Pokemon I got. And people are like, well, it's a lot easier to get shiny Pokemon in Legends Arceus anyways. And it's like, well, yeah, it is, but, like, what's the point of you telling me that? Like, is it just to make me feel like, oh yeah, I'm worth less than whatever you have or whatever other people have? Like, what is the reasoning for you to tell me this? You know? I feel like people are just like, I don't know. I think people just get a little bit too big for their britches sometimes and have to express their superiority when we're all, like, equally on this earth, you know? We're all equally on this rock. Also, this place gives me back some painful memories and some good memories. I shiny hunted all of the Paradox Pokemon in this game. And Roaring Moon was the hardest one for me to get. I posted a lot about it on Twitter. I posted a lot about the adventure of me trying to get Roaring Moon, shiny Roaring Moon on Twitter. I caught, like, 5 Zweilises. I think I got a Fluttermane. I might have got 2 Fluttermanes. I don't remember. I got a Fluttermane. I got a, like, 2 Golducks, 3 Grievards. I'm pretty sure I got a Sneasel. Like, I got so many Pokemon in here that weren't Roaring Moon. I think I got a Sableye as well. That took me forever to get Roaring Moon. And that's with using all of like the shit that I had. I wasn't using the super sandwiches with Herba Mystica. Not because I don't think that that's a valid way to shiny hunt. It's because I just really don't care about grinding Herba Mystica. It was not something I found that I wanted to do. What the hell? What is Roaring Moon doing over there? Roaring Moon doesn't usually spawn here. That was random. I also got a shiny Glamora down in here. And it was really funny because I was like, oh, shiny Glamora, yo, that's sick. And I go and I save the game. And I walk into it. I go to, like, whittle it down, Thunder Wave it, do all that good stuff. It uses Explosion on me. And it kills itself, right? But, of course, hey, I saved. It should be fine. I reload the game. It's not there. I'm devastated, right? I'm devastated. That it's not there anymore. And I'm like, fuck, that sucks. And then I look at the wall, and there's just an oddly different colored flower on the wall. Huh. And I go up to it, and it's the shiny Glamora in the wall. Because they have, like, we'll probably see it, but the Glamora can go in the walls and look like decorations. There's another Roaring Moon down here. I'm pretty sure with the DLC they added to the caves as an extra spawning for Roaring Moon / Iron Valiant. Oh, yo! Oh, yeah, here we go. So it was on the wall like this, but as a shiny. And I was like, I thought it was gone when I respawned in. Dude, that's crazy! Oh, that's sick. Dude, yeah, they did not spawn here. I would have definitely loved this, because I loved running around this area. You hunted Iron Valiant here? Oh, nice. Yeah, I would have had a lot of fun, because you just run up and down. Like, you just set it, you go up and down the thing. This is where I hunted everything else. And there's also that, like, that platform right over there, where you can, like, run back and forth and despawn stuff really easily. This was before I used, like, the picnic to despawn stuff too, so you could probably do that as well. That's so sick. Espathra is definitely a Pokemon I want to use in a future playthrough. I was actually going to use Espathra in my original playthrough, but it was stupid. I didn't understand. So I saw Flittle, and I was like, Flittle obviously evolves into Espathra. And then I remember watching a video or reading something, and someone saying that, like, Flittle doesn't evolve. And it was early on in the game that maybe someone was just misinformed, but I assumed that they were speaking the truth, and that Flittle didn't evolve. And so I was like, Flittle doesn't evolve into Espathra? What? And then, like, I'm like, that's so stupid. So that means Espathra doesn't evolve from something? It's just they're two separate Pokemon? And I just left a bad taste in my mouth for whatever reason. I just didn't like the idea of it. Like, I thought it was kind of silly that they weren't evolutions. And so I didn't use her. I was like, you know what? I'm not interested in using Flittle anymore. And then, like, fast forward, like, literally last year, someone was doing a video with us, like, oh yeah, Flittle evolves into Espathra. I'm like, what? And then I Google it, and I'm like, huh? I thought Flittle didn't evolve. And I was so confused, because I'm like, I thought Flittle evolved into Espathra, but someone told me that it didn't. Another one that was really difficult to shiny hunt, or at least it took me a while to get, was what is it called? Sandy Shocks. Sandy Shocks took me quite a bit to get, and that one was a hard one because it looks so closely to the other one. You know, it's kind of hard to tell. It's like, it's good to, it's easy to tell when you can see them next to each other, but it's kind of hard to tell off the bat. The Dunsparce, terrible. I think the first one I got here was Shiny Slitherwing. Shiny Slitherwing Shiny Slitherwing and Shiny Fluttermane were very close to being added to the Kitakami team. Because I liked their designs and their shinies so much. But I really wanted to leave room to catch Pokemon. And add it to our team with random Pokemon. I'm glad I did, because we ended up having, like, Ursaluna and Poliwhirl and stuff like that. And so... I'm glad I didn't, but I almost had, like, 4 people in our team. But I wanted to bring at least Iron Thorns, because I knew that I would never really be able to play with Iron Thorns in a playthrough, because I don't have Violet. Oh, it wasn't Kiryu. I didn't call him Kiryu. I called him Hades. Never mind. Yeah, Hades, because he was based off the Bakugan. Yeah, I wanted to bring him in, because I was like, there's never going to be a time where I get to use him. I want someone to mod. It might take too much work, but I'd love to see someone mod into this game, like shiny sounds and overworld shinies. I think someone did mod in overworld. Oh well, no, there are overworld shinies in this. Never mind. But I want to see overworld sparkles and overworld sound effects for shinies, because I don't even know what I'm looking for in these ones. Because, I would love to see how, like, likely it is to get a shiny. You know, like, is it, like, are we passing, like, 100 shinies every 2 seconds because we're moving so fast, we're loading in so many Pokemon that, like, shinies are spawning at the edge of our spawn limit and disappearing, you know? Like, I wonder how many shinies we've passed in our playthrough without even noticing. Or if it's just, like... no, it's not that much easier. Or how many times like a shiny would spawn in a wall or something. Because I think I found a shiny like Palmy or something in the roof of a cave. In the roof of that entrance to the Roaring Moon Cave. I think I found a Palmy or a Sneasel or something. Alright, chat. I said we were gonna go for like 3 hours-ish. Just to give this modem a test drive. And it looks like... that, knock on wood, it seems to be working relatively well. Knock on wood again. So I'll test it out still tonight, and I'll test it tomorrow to make sure, but hopefully it's finally gone back. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for Troubleshooting Tuesday. It's obviously was much better than the first stream we did, because yeah, because we couldn't even get the fucking stream to go. Well, you can see I'm fading. I don't want to have a soda to celebrate, but I kind of want to have a soda to celebrate. I'm trying to drink less soda, and I'm going to the movies tomorrow, so I might get like a diet soda or something, or maybe no soda and just get like a water or something, and then drink a soda tonight just to celebrate the knock on wood. Celebrate us knocking on wood for no in particular reason. God is listening. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I will see you guys on Thursday for the actual streams. It will probably be MPW, Masu Pro Wrestling, but there might be a sliver of a chance that I skip it this week so we can do some more Shin Megami Tensei. I need to get back into editing and recording videos because I'm 4 days behind. Ugh. I'm gonna see who's online. And I'm gonna see... We didn't drop too many frames. We definitely did drop some frames, which usually when we had the Ethernet cable connected, we dropped like 0 frames usually. So dropping a little bit of frames is not bad. Oh, let's see. I see one person. Oh, that's not. Oh, thanks for the 15th time telling me about the new knocking feature. I'm trying to scroll. Oh, Tyranno Maximum is also up. Flair's on. Tyranno's on. I've been looking at some other people, like other new streamers. There's Gold Knight Angel, who I one day would like to raid, but I kind of want to raid Flair tonight because he's been so helpful with me, with trying to help me troubleshoot. And let's hope that our troubleshooting will be over. Go follow Flair if you haven't. I think he's doing some of this fun story mode game, I think. No, he's not. He's playing Supermarket together with his wife. Go say hi to Flair for me, and have a fantastic rest of your week. I will see you guys on Thursday, so hopefully you won't miss me too much. Have a fantastic rest of your night, guys. Bye! Martine, thanks for sticking around for Troubleshooting Tuesday. Bye-bye.